Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
The final month is upon us, and with it brings major change to the Tigers organization. Two big trades yesterday. Justin Upton going to the Angels. Justin Verlander late last night traded to the Houston Astros. So today we move forward on a great day for baseball here. The first of two doubleheader today between the Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Indians. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Kirk Gibson, glad to have you with us here for Game 1 in this doubleheader this afternoon. Give you, of course, the big deal announced right before midnight last night. Justin Verlander goes to the Astros. A lot of emotion today.
Yeah, disappointed in one sense because he was a baby when we brought him up in 2005. He's had a great career, and he was in a situation where he really had to make a decision at 11:59 p.m. and he was well prepared to make that decision at that time. He agreed to waive his 10-5 rights, but you know what? This kid had the will. He changed his mechanics. He had a great perseverance in everything that he did, and most of all, he set a great example for anybody that's got a chance to watch him in this organization, either during the games or in spring training or any time that they've ever watched him. Real good job by Justin.
All right, now J.D. Martinez gone, Justin Upton gone, Justin Verlander gone, but coming back the other way, a ton of prospects for the Tigers.
Well, that's what they wanted to do. That was the whole game plan. Got 10 total coming into the organization, 5 infielders, 1 outfielder, Daz Cameron, son of Mike Cameron. That'll be interesting. Got a ton of speed. 2 pitchers. A catcher, Jake Rogers, that's supposed to be the best in the organization that they got back, and 2 players to be named later. Now, sometimes that means first-round picks, we'll see, but that's just a little less than 7%. So the organization is going to promote development and competition, and this deal affects a ton of people throughout the Tigers organization, and it's a rebuild. Let's be excited about it. Let's embrace it. Now let's get after it.
All right, after a short break, we'll send you down to the Call Sam's check-in with Mickey York. Today, the first of 2. This weekend, the first of 4. Tigers Tribe coming up next.
50th start of his career. Carlos Carrasco going for the Indians 6-1 in his last 9 against the Tigers. Hi, everybody. Mickey York back with you here in the Coliseum studio. The first of 2 between the Tigers and the Indians coming up shortly from Comerica Park. But in Carlos Carrasco, the Tigers face an Indians pitcher today that's been better on the road over the last 2 years than he has been at home, holding opponents to just a 199 average since 2015. But that's nothing a few home runs won't cure here today. If Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring in a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your newspaper or on the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. Turkey Stearns family in attendance today as the Tigers dedicated a new plaque to the former Detroit Stars Negro League Hall of Famer. His daughters singing the national anthem today. His great-granddaughter here to throw out the first pitch in the first of 2 between the Tigers and the Tribe. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Jeep. Guide yourself to great deals at the Jeep Labor Day sales events. And by Kroger. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
Tigers home to take on the Indians in a doubleheader. Matt Boyd will get the start for the Tigers here in Game 1, and he is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, combined between AAA and the big leagues, 28th start for Matt Boyd. Detroit won 5 of his outings. Then they've lost the last 5 of his outings, so look for some consistency. Fastball change. Then he goes curveball and an occasional slider, cutter.
And he will take on an Indians team today that has won their last 7 consecutive games. Here we go. The first pitch to Francisco Lindor is ball 1, missing outside.
Won their last 7 and swept the Yankees, and they had an off day on their way to Detroit, feeling good, I'm sure.
In there, a strike called on Lindor, 1 ball and 1 strike. Indians come in first place in the American League Central, playing their best baseball, the 1-1. That is in the air, foul, and heading back out of play. 1-2 on Lindor.
You know, the Indians always seem to put a streak together as of late. Tito Francona does a good job, and was 11 in a row or something like that last year, and they always kind of hang around the pack. They get things ready, and then they make their run, and they're on a run here as well right now.
Here's the 1-2 now to Lindor, and he missed inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Different looking feel for the, or different looking team for the Tigers, and a different feel in the locker room today coming into the ballpark. 2-2 is fouled back out of play, and well, with Justin Upton gone and Justin Verlander gone, the Tigers moving on now, the final month of the year. Opportunities for other players. Boyd again with the 2-2. And he missed outside. 3-2 on Lindor.
Well, we'll get into this as the game goes on. There are a lot of different angles to take, but they got a game and they want to beat the Indians today. Start to play the spoiler.
Popped him up. The right side of the infield. Navarro is under it, and 1 gone. Here's the rest of the lineup for the Indians, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Lindor, Jackson, and Ramirez to follow. Then you've got Encarnacion, Santana, and Diaz. Geyer, Gomes, and Urshela in the bottom 3. The Indians still with some injuries they're dealing with. Brantley is out. Kipnis is out. Chisenhall has been out. So they are playing some pretty good baseball without some pretty good players.
Yeah, pretty good supporting cast that they've called up and have filled in nicely.
Austin Jackson looks at a strike. Former Tiger is hitting .347 this year against left-handed pitching. 0-2. I think it's going to be a big month for a lot of guys on this team. Matt Boyd is no different, Gibby. He really needs to turn things on here the final month of the season to show what he can do.
Yeah, I think just about the time he thought he had it together after the Tigers won 5 of his decisions.
It's back up the middle into center.
He struggled for 5, and that's what this game does. It keeps you going. It keeps humbling you, and it takes quite some time to find your place. Let's take a look at the Tigers' starting defense, brought to you by Mario and Kirk. Out there in the corners, Mikey Motuk and Presley. Jacoby Jones up the middle in center field. Iglesias and Kinsler on the infield up the middle. Castellanos and Herrera. Efren Herrera at first base. James McCann behind the plate.
There's a strike called on Jose Ramirez.
Brought to you by me and Big M.
I didn't know that we were sponsoring the defense today. How much is that costing us?
No, it was gratis.
Oh, it was gratis? Okay.
Yeah, just
It's my
because
favorite.
we did just get a call, though. The red phone is ringing.
0-2 on Jose Ramirez. Well, Ramirez having himself another fine year. 20 home runs this year, the average over 300. He was an all-star this season. Boyd down with the 0-2. And it's on the ground at first. Navarro will fire to second. 1 relay in time. The double play. It'll go 3-6-3, and the inning is over. One of a doubleheader today, and here's the Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Ian Kinsler will get it rolling for the Tigers, and Presley and Cabrera. Castellanos, Matuk, and Navarro, who was called up today, and McCann, Jones, and Iglesias rounded out for Brad Ausmus here this afternoon. They are facing Carlos Carrasco, presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
Carrasco 13-6 on the year, 3-1 versus the Tigers. Averaging about 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's got great stuff. He'll be challenging to the Tigers today.
And it'll be Kinsler to get it started for the Tigers. Ian batting .241. He'll look at a strike on 1. Indians have had some tremendous pitching down the stretch here. Let's look at the umpiring crew. Ron Culpa behind the plate. And Carrasco has been a big part of that staff that has really turned it on. The 0-1 is a strike called. 0-2. They are still awaiting the return of Andrew Miller, who obviously is a key piece in their bullpen.
Has been in the past, and they count on him again, but he's had trouble getting back.
Kinsler with 14 homers. He's knocked in 39 this year.
Ian's one of those guys, a veteran guy. When things, organizations change directions, it's very tough for veteran players who's going to be disappointed and wonder where his future may lie.
Chop left side of the infield, cut off at third by Urshela, and 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Indians starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Outfield left to right, Brandon Geyer, Austin Jackson, and Carlos Santana. He plays everywhere nowadays. Got Lindor and Ramirez up the middle. Edwin Encarnacion at first base, and the young kid Urshela. Urshela is at third base. Got Carrasco on the mound.
Here is Presley in the 2 spot today for the Tigers. Alex at .292 for the year. Tigers outfield now without Upton. You'll see Presley get a lot of playing time. Jacoby Jones stands to be the guy that will get more time now, with Matuk moving to left.
I've got to believe Adduci will be back, and I know that Gerber moved up to AAA, is going to move up from AA, so everybody's on the move in the organization after the trades.
0-2 on Presley. You kind of forget it really affects the minor league level too when you make big moves at the top.
Well, if you figure, I'm just going to say there's 140 to 150 minor leaguers. You put 10 new guys in there, it's 6-7%. That's a pretty big influx of players. Now that'll mean not good news for other players, because you got to put players in, and some are going to be eliminated and asked to find another job somewhere. That's a kind of a scary thing. You walk around the clubhouse, everybody knows what's going on.
Bouncing ball right side. The second baseman Ramirez will throw out Presley, and 2 gone. A couple of ground outs for Carrasco. 62 and partly cloudy at the ballpark today, and our smiling faces. Mario Gibby and Matt Shepard with you.
Kind of a nice fall day already here.
It is
early September, huh?
There is a crispness in the air here this afternoon. Here is Miguel Cabrera with 2 outs. Miggy 3 out of 14 on the recently concluded road trip, going through Chicago and then into Denver to take on the Rockies. Ooh, look out. That ball came up and in and all the way to the back.
Oh boy, let's don't start that again. I was watching the game when we had the ball got slippery in that one game Rod and you did there, and had a little tap dancing going on at home plate.
Well, Cabrera's got to be getting used to this, because this year especially they are really busting him inside a lot.
And you know it's worked. Lefties he's hitting 330 off lefties, only 231 against righties. So can it have an effect? It can. Do we know that's what's going on? We don't. It maybe is part of it. But you can get a little flinch happy. But I think Miggy will bounce back If not in this month, next year, I think he'll come back ready to go. It's just unlike him to have that type of year.
3-0, and of course Cabrera has done major damage over the years against the Indians. 343 lifetime with 43 home runs, make it 45 home runs against the Tribe. Major numbers. It's gone to 3-0 here against Carrasco. In the air to center field. That ball hit a ton to the track, to the wall, and caught by Jackson. He gave it a ride, man. That ball looked like it was going to go. 1-2-3 inning. No score. The Tigers and Indians today. Stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites. Now being served all day. That Boyd goes back to work and is fouled away by Edwin Encarnacion, who gets it started now for the Tribe. Encarnacion, Santana, Yandy Diaz in the top of the second.
Guess they think he's going to hit it this way, huh?
Encarnacion takes outside 1-1.
It's amazing that you can pull all those three infielders over on the left side of the diamond. That not too long ago they did not do that. And Encarnacion, he's obviously trying to elevate the ball. Started the season very slowly, but has really come on this year. Finishing strong, 31 home runs.
Well, they had to be a little bit concerned. He was hitting 200 in the month of April. He'll pop that one up. First base side, Navarro, and he'll get there. One gone. That'll bring up Santana. Carlos in right field today. Is his 7th game in right field, so he's typically either DHing, first baseman. He caught when he came up for the Indians.
Didn't he do a little third base too?
He did third base, yes. We know one thing he does, and that is hit for power and walk. He walks a lot. 5th right now in the American League in base on balls. On the outer edge, 0-1.
A little better against the right-hander, so left-handed not as good. So should give Boyd somewhat of an edge. Switch hitter.
Outside, 1-1.
Boyd allowing 5 runs in each of his last 2 starts, so he's trying to get that straightened around today against a good Indians team. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike on Santana.
Uh-oh. boss is here.
You seem worried.
He's looking for a checkbook. That sponsored element.
2-1 pitch is fouled back out of play. 2-2 now on Santana. Carlos played his 1,000th career game this May. He's been around and been a mainstay now for the Indians for a few years. Here's the 2-2. Ripped down the left field line. That's going to go to the corner. Matuk will dig it up. Santana motoring towards second, and he is in with a 1-out double.
Well, Santana right here, he shows why he's such a good hitter. This is not a fastball. This is a changeup. He steps and he keeps his hands back. We're going to show you the side view. Just watch when he steps. The body wants to drift forward. He keeps his hands back. And that's the whole key to that. And a good length through and gets the double. Continues to hit everybody's pitching, including the Tigers.
Scoring chance now for the Indians. Yandy Diaz stands in.
And one of the things with Matt Boyd, he's got to get that changeup down. You know, you watch him. He's got great stuff. We know he's got great stuff. He's got to place his pitches consistently, and that changeup was up a little bit. And Santana made the Tigers pay so far.
Here's the 0-1. Fouled straight back. 0-2 on Diaz. Is that one of the toughest things for young pitchers, and that is command control?
Well, you can come up with the 95, 96 mile an hour fastball early in the game and kind of just muscle it a bit, but as the game progresses, you lose a little life, and they also time you up better. So you're going to have to spot it to be able to consistently get hitters out with those pitches. Can't just airmail one. You get down to the count 2-1 or 3-1. They will really get on those pitches, drive them.
1-2 on Diaz. Got Brandon Geyer waiting on deck. 1-out double by Santana. Now the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Diaz. He is DHing here in game 1 today.
Another thing you want to look for, you get ahead in the count, you want to put the hitter away. You want to keep wasting pitches and going deep in the count.
Got him. Strike 3 in the inside corner. Diaz punched out of there. The first of the game for Boyd.
Good job here. 2-2 count. He comes right on the inside corner. You see it just barely gets the black. And Diaz can only watch.
Fastball at 94, painted beautifully there by Boyd. And that leaves it up now to Brandon Geyer. Geyer in left field today, batting .236, couple of homers. Strike 1. Geyer was acquired last August by the Indians. Made an impact in the postseason. In fact, batted .300 in the World Series for the Tribe. And it just goes to show that I guess you don't always necessarily need to acquire someone before the July 31st deadline to make an impact.
Yeah, you have actually till, was it midnight last night? So you can, if you make the trade by then, you can still put them on your playoff roster. But now, if you pick somebody up, you cannot play them in your postseason.
I think an example of that was Matt Stairs a few years back. Was acquired by the Tigers in September. He helped them down the stretch, but wasn't eligible for postseason. 0-2 now on Geyer. One of Geyer's specialties, and one of the reasons the Indians acquired him last year, was his ability to hit left-handed pitching. He's not been quite as good this year, but last year well over 300 against lefties.
Yeah, 250 this year. But, you know, sometimes you get into a magical year. You know, how can a guy go from one team struggling to another team and just dominate? It happens. Sometimes a change of scenery is good, and it serves people well.
Chopped to third, foul.
You know, kind of getting back to JV, he's going to feel weird, you know, when he starts facing. First, when you put the uniform on, that feels different. It's a different color. It's a different feel. And when you come to Comerica, that'll really be weird in the other dugout. And facing your teammates, ooh, that's different.
I think A.J. Hinch has said that Verlander's first start with the Astros will be Tuesday in Seattle.
It's a good place to pitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
That JV will really help that rotation. They really need somebody of his stature to dominate down the stretch. You got to win the game with your number ones.
So Geyer continues to battle here.
Tell you what, it's hard to see the ball right now. I'd be a little susceptible up here to not catching the ball.
Day games can be tricky here in terms of glare and picking up the baseball. One and two. Seventh pitch coming up in this at bat. And he popped him up behind the plate. McCann, does he have room? He can't quite get there. Went up against the screen. Geyer's still alive.
That ball just too close to the screen for James to get it. Tough. I don't think he picked it up right out of the gate, and then he wanted to try and get to that fence really quick. That ball's just barely off of the fence and can't make the play.
One out double by Santana, still standing there now with 2 outs. And Geyer takes inside, and now suddenly the count goes 2-2. He has battled back from an 0-2 count.
Was that about 10 pitches or something?
We're getting there. 8 already. Number 9 coming up. Outside now, 3-2. This is one of those at bats that can swing a game, or at least momentum early in the game. If Geyer can come up with a base hit here, Boyd has had trouble putting him away. Now the 3-2, and he walked him, ball 4. 2 on, 2 out. First walk for Boyd this afternoon. It's going to bring up Yan Gomes. Low batting average for Gomes, 10 home runs on the year. A very talented catcher, good strong throwing arm. He's knocked in 46 this season. And Gomes almost hit. 1-0. So suddenly now the pitch count is approaching 40 for Matt Boyd.
And he only had 12 pitches in the first inning. But he's going to have to conquer this part of it. As you just said, he's struggled in these situations. Got to find a way to put these guys away.
2-0.
Well, we were talking about the glare that what different people in the field see. I'm going to try and show you. There's glare when you look into the. See how that's all dark out here? This is shiny. So the fielders have a tough time seeing the ball coming off the bat. However, the hitters can see very well right now.
Slow roller back to the mound, and Boyd will get out of this. Nicely done. No runs, double walk, 2 men left. Bottom of the second, no score here at Comerica Park as Nick Castellanos strolls in. Here is the Bernstein advantage.
8th player in Tigers history, 200 extra base hits through the age 25 season. That's a lot of players that went through, and Nick's one of them. That's highly unlikely, but he's quietly finishing very strong this year. He's struggled a lot early with the glove, and a lot of attention was paid to that, but this guy, I can tell you, this kid can hit. He's only going to get better.
Well, and Brad was chatting about him before the game today, talking about how you'll probably see his move to right field moved up in terms of how quickly it might happen now that Upton has been traded. They want to see in September how he can handle the outfield. But I think you're right. I think, you know, after a lot of early trouble at third base defensively, he's kind of settled in now here in the second half, and well, the bat's never really fallen off.
Well, what you have to understand, when something's off in your game, you spend so much energy and thought on that one aspect of your game that the other aspects suffer.
Line to center field where Jackson is positioned. 1 gone. 4 straight retired by Carrasco. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Maybe it'll be Mikey Matuk to deliver that Miller moment.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
I love it, man. He's my pick for Pick the Stick today.
Boy, you dropped back another couple spots since the last time I've been around here. What's going on?
I'm spiraling out of control, Gibby. It's been a free fall from first to third.
Shot it early, didn't you?
Strike 1 on Matuk.
Came out of the gate, gave everything you had, and done. You never know.
There's a month left. Anything can happen.
Offside.
There's a ball missing outside to Matuk. 1 ball and 1 strike.
So, I mean, are you just going to go with the home run guy down the stretch or what?
Well, I've got to. I'm behind now by like 20
Well, I've
points.
been behind too, but I'm going to stay with it. I'm going to go.
You're going to chip away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Good
get
luck.
that last day thing, you know?
Right.
Boom.
What did you say back in, what was it, 87 when you guys caught the Blue Jays?
Biggest bear trap. Set the biggest bear trap of all time.
That's right. I'm just setting a bear trap right now for you guys. It's going to be a huge month of September.
I thought I was doing that.
Yeah, well, but I'm behind you.
Oh.
Look out. Matuk hit by the pitch. Man, how many Tigers have been hit in the last month? And that ball came up and into Mikey.
I believe that was a breaking ball, though. See, it just slips right out. does a good job of turning away from the ball. If any of you young kids or parents really try and work with your children, they're going to play baseball or softball on turning away when the ball's coming inside. Get your head down, turn it away, get that shoulder up, take it in the ribs, take it in the shoulder, take it in the arm, anywhere but above the shoulders.
Here is Efren Navarro, who has been called up today from the minor leagues. He did look at ball one. Our crack staff down in the production truck looked it up. The Tigers have been hit 15 times since the beginning of August. 15 hit by pitches, and of course it came to a boil on the last homestand against the Yankees.
Yankees haven't done so well since then, and they got suspensions that they're going to have to honor.
That's right.
Tigers do as well. Any word on when Mikel is going to think about taking his?
No word. I guess we're still waiting on the appeals. I have not heard if any of these suspensions will be lowered at all.
With the appeals, they're just hoping that it will be reduced. If you can get one game, you've done something there.
2-0 on Navarro, and he swings right through it. 2-1.
However, the charities that the fine money goes to will be disappointed.
Well, I think when they hand out these fines, they kind of build in the appeals, and I think, you know, with Miggy it was 7, thinking he'll probably appeal, and maybe they knock it down to 5.
But there's precedent. Who was it who got 8 games?
Trying to think. Runner goes, and it's hit foul just outside of the bag at third.
Now, I was going to say that might be a hit and run, but I don't think so, because Mikey did not peek. So if that's a hit and run and you're the runner, you're going to take about 3 steps and you're going to peek. Look at, he's just a straight steal. He didn't see where that ball went. Fortunately, it wasn't a line drive or a pop-up. He would have got doubled off. But I like, I was just thinking this might be a hit and run combo.
And Navarro takes high, run the count to 3-2. Linwood, California is where Navarro was born. He is 31 years of age, has had major league time with the Angels prior to the Tigers now. About 130 games worth in the big leagues. Runner goes on 3-2, right back up the middle. They tried to get the out at second, will not. Lindor will throw to first and retire Navarro. Lindor tried to keep that foot on the bag as long as he could.
Yeah, I like that. I like 3-2. Put a little pressure on the defense. Mikey's going again. See the peak there, the difference? Knows where it is. Just one way that you can tell, hit and run or not.
So with 2 outs, here is McCann trying to drive in a run. Got some information on the clarification on the appeals. They will be heard on September the 11th. The Tigers appeals will. The Yankees have their hearing today for their appeals.
So they're going to have who are going to be the big guys that are going to go down there?
Well, Sanchez, they had Judge.
Did he get 5, Sanchez?
I think he got 4. Yeah, 4 for Sanchez. Drilled foul to left field.
You know, that was quite a conversation everybody was having about how ethical or unethical any of it was. And Sanchez, one of the guys that was kind of having a little delightful time going around the outside of the pile there. Is this ball right here was caught.
Barehanded. That's a really good play.
And you hang in there like that, you catch him.
Didn't even use his glove, he brought it. The 0-1. 0-2 now on McCann.
James McCann, another guy, hit well, 333 off of left-handers, only 211 against righties. So it's one of the things that if he can get more consistent from that right side, really take him to the next step.
Mac homered on Wednesday in the final game of that Rockies series. It was a 3-run shot off Chad Bettis, which really lengthened the Tigers' lead. And of course, that was the day Verlander pitched, so they didn't need much offense.
Ball still launched there.
They do. You can tell just fly balls off the bat seem to carry a little more.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, it's a mile high, so it's very thin air. Ball really carries. Then they brought in a humidor to control the moisture within the baseballs, and that kind of cuts down on the distance that the ball goes. However, it's still the launching pad. I mean, it's a huge park, really, but with the altitude being so high, balls fly out of there like nothing.
1-2 on McCann. Got him. Strike three. James caught looking to end the inning. Carrasco gets his first strikeout of the game.
Retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers.
Game one of the doubleheader here this afternoon. Tigers taking on the Indians. No score as we go to the top of the third here at Comerica Park. And a cool, crisp afternoon for baseball here. September baseball has arrived. It'll be Giovanni Urshela to get things started out for the Indians. Urshela, Lindor, and then Austin Jackson. Matt Boyd goes back to work. And the first one is in for a strike as we bring in Craig Moreau, who is field side for the broadcast this afternoon. And Simo, your thoughts on kind of the feel of the Tigers clubhouse coming to work today?
Well, you know it's going to be a different feel, guys, with Verlander getting dealt and also Justin Upton. But at the same time, as a player, this show must go on. You have to focus on trying to win a game today. They've got a tough task in facing Carrasco today. He's been one of the better pitchers in the league. So, again, you're going to miss him. You wish him all the best. But you have to play baseball, man, and you have to go out and compete for the next however many games you got left.
Simo, can you remember a time when somebody got traded, or on the vice versa, where you picked somebody up that it really brought your team down or lifted it up?
Well, definitely felt like when we added the mayor, so to speak, Sean Casey here, I felt like it lifted us. We got that big left-handed bat that we needed in the middle of our lineup. But at the same time, and he added a presence, some fire in the clubhouse, because he's one of the greatest people I've ever been around.
Lindor, the batter, he's gone ahead now 2-0.
Well, to me, it's got to be hard for Kinsler and Miggy right now. Victor is off on medical, trying to figure some things out, but I think that it's going to be the toughest for them. As the young kids, they're going to get a chance to make an impression. So it's they're excited to do so. Veteran guys want to be part of a winner. However, they've had their chance as well. Let's be fair about it. They're like Simo's saying, but you got to be a pro about it. You got to try and lead this next group of this next wave to the promised land, and who's to say that they can't turn this around quickly?
Right.
There's a lot of people who say you can't, but they don't really know. They just think they know.
And guys, truth be told, we would be talking about this team in a different fashion if Miggy was having a type of year that he's had throughout his career. The same could be said for Kinsler. Listen, these guys struggled a little bit, and they're a huge part of the Tigers' success, and so it forced the Tigers to have to go in a different direction.
Simo, were you surprised at all? And I want to talk basically about the last couple of years now with names like Cabrera and Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, Ian Kinsler. I mean, this was a pretty stacked lineup. They just couldn't get it done.
Well, you're absolutely right, Mario, and it's unfortunate too because the Tigers for the last 10 years since 2006 fighting, trying to win that World Series championship, and just hasn't been able to put it all together. And I think it was time, guys, to be quite frank with you. I think it was time. They needed to get younger. They needed to get more athletic. And as much as it's going to hurt to see those, as much as it hurt to see those guys go, I think the team is headed in the right direction where they're going to be athletic. They're going to hopefully be able to get back on track and get on track quickly.
You know, it'll be exciting to see a new wave of guys grow and develop together. And it's not going to be boring. You know, maybe they're going to be make some mistakes, but they're going to be aggressive about it. And you're going to get a chance to see them grow into very good ball players. The ones that aren't, they'll move on. They're trying to get that organization stacked with athletic people, and then they got to find out who fits. You know, you throw a bunch of stuff in the salad when you eat it up. You got to put a lot of dressing on it, or does it already taste good?
Right. Well, you also got to think about what Kansas City was able to do. You look at their core guys: Salvador Perez, Eric Hosmer, Moustakas, Lorenzo Cain, Gordon. These guys played together through the minor league system. They learned how to win in the minor leagues, and then they got a chance to win a World Series championship too. So you have to look at the bright side, and the bright side is that you got some young players that's going to get a chance to hopefully build a winning atmosphere here in Detroit.
Meanwhile, a 1-2-3 for Matt Boyd, who fans a couple here in the third. Kinsler still wearing Tigers colors in a scoreless game as we go to the bottom of the third. Don't forget the Tigers host the Indians tomorrow at 6:10. Former Tiger Carlos Pena will take part in the pregame Q&A session. 2:45 in the Big Cat Court, part of the Alumni Saturdays. Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER for more ticket info. Here come the Tigers now in the third. It'll be Jacoby Jones, Jose Iglesias, Ian Kinsler facing Carlos Carrasco, who hit a batter in the second, but that's it. And the only base runner the Tigers have had so far, and Jones looks at strike one. Mario and Pemba, Kirk Gibson, and Craig Monroe with you from the ballpark.
Shep's in the house as well.
Along with Matt Shepard, who is working the yard today, and he'll be in the clubhouse afterwards.
Shep kind of has already been showing up today. We're going to talk to him about that here in a second.
Guys, y'all should have seen Shep today, man. He was fired up. You know he gets fired up anyway, but he just fires me up. He gets so excited, man. This is good stuff.
Shep is passionate.
He's very
You just
passionate.
got to make sure when you go for that handshake. be ready.
1-2 on Jones. Carrasco has recorded 1 strikeout. Jacoby starting in center field today. Was 1 for 8 on the road trip. And a swing and a miss. Down he goes. Jones out of there. And speaking of Shep, we check in with Matt Shepard.
I love father-son stories, don't you? Taking to the ballpark. Peter had brought his son Michael Strauss here from Ann Arbor to check out the Tigers. You made a whale of a play, young man, last inning.
Yeah.
What's the key to holding on to that baseball? Because I could learn a few things from you.
Lessons.
I don't know. I just kind of stuck my hands out and brought it in. I mean,
At least you were paying attention and not texting. That's a pretty important trait there these
actually,
days.
I wasn't looking. He told me there was a ball coming, and I looked, and there it was.
What were you doing?
I don't know.
Daydreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know you got a baseball glove right in front of you. It's an A2000. It's not a
Yeah.
bad glove. Your dad spent some money on it. Why didn't you use that?
I was eating a sausage.
That works. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, you know what happened to me last year. I mean, and Gibby has never let me forget it. I was
Run.
getting ready to do a hit, and the ball comes flying at me. I went like, just totally lost it. I didn't have what it takes to grab the baseball barehanded like you did. That's a pretty impressive thing to do. How many people around here are giving you a high five and cheering you on afterwards?
After it happened, a bunch of people came up and congratulated me, so that was pretty cool.
Now, you play baseball, so I would guess those instincts came out in you a little bit. Could you feel it coming out? Like, I'm going to make the play. I'm going to make a highlight on Fox Sports Detroit?
Yeah, that was pretty fun. It was cool.
He's having a blast right now. Obviously, he's still a little overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
Good thing that Dad is here to help him out, fellas. Just like you guys were there to help me out last year. Let me
Right.
think about that. Oh, no, you
No,
weren't.
we weren't.
No, we
Yeah,
didn't.
we were-
That's okay.
I think we
That's
just
all
gave you
right.
a hard time.
That's all right. That's what
Hey,
it's about. I can learn. I can learn from young Michael here.
There's a base hit by Iglesias. Hey, Shep, before you go, ask young Michael where he plays. Who does he play for?
Michael, in Ann Arbor, who are you playing for?
I actually go to Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
You're an Eaglet.
Yes, I am.
That's a long haul from Ann Arbor to Orchard Lake St. Mary's there in Commerce Township, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually board there 5-day. Yeah.
So Dan Petrie's a little involved. Dan Petrie's son, right?
Yeah, Matt Petrie is actually the varsity coach there,
Okay.
so I know him pretty well. Yeah,
What's your position?
I catch, I play second, a little bit of short.
Little Andrew Romine without the catching gear
Yeah.
to a certain extent. Who's your favorite Tiger, and what'd you think about the trades that took place last night?
My favorite is Cabrera. I don't know, I just think the rebuilding is necessary. I don't know too much about it, but
Well, he's got a good perspective because they are now beginning to reload and get fired up here in Detroit in a scoreless game with the Indians. Back after this.
Tigers and the Indians going at it. No score, and back to the mound goes Matt Boyd. Menards brings you the big money encounter. Third inning this year has been a problem for Boyd, but today he went 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts, and so that's progress right there.
Look at that, 40 hits allowed in 17 innings. So that's why it was a good turnaround in the previous third. Now let's take it over to the fourth.
Ramirez, Encarnacion, and Santana for the Indians. Here's the 1-1. Pulled to third, and a nice short hop pick there by Nick. One gone.
Good looking day for the Tigers. They got Ramirez out twice. He's been on fire, hitting over 400 lately. Look at Nick. It kind of takes a bad hop, but he gets his glove close enough to it so the can't get by him. And a good strong throw.
Hey, Simo, with Nick possibly transitioning to the outfield, what are going to be some of his biggest challenges, do you think?
Well, I think if he plays right field, the ball from the right-handed batter fading down and away, the ball seems to continue to run away from you off the righty's bat. And then if they happen to put him in left field, it's going to be vice versa, guys. It's going to be that left-handed header that slices one down the left field line. That's going to give him some trouble. But he's worked himself into some really good shape. He runs well now, and I think he's more athletic, so I feel like he'll be able to make the adjustment.
I do too. He comes out and runs daily on his running form. It's not like he's trying to run all out at this time, but he's trying to get his mechanics better. He does the same thing with his fungos at third, and now has added right field to that daily routine. He can do it.
I think Brad said before the game today that more than likely, if the transition takes place, he will be right field because it's not quite as big out there in right as it is in left. It's 15 feet deeper in left field. Here's the 2-1.
Guys, I also think we're going to see an uptick in his offense too. I mean, here at third base position, obviously, made some errors. He can't tell me that he doesn't think about it at times. You try not to, but you can't help it. You're human. And so I think moving to the outfield, where the game obviously is going to slow down for Nick Castellanos, I think we're going to see him reach his full potential on the offensive side as well.
But the one thing he's got to, even though he's moving to the outfield, it is slower because you have more time to react. But there's a lot to learn and understand out there. He's going to have the sun to deal with, the walls. You're talking about the spins, the knuckleballs, the lights. That right center field gap that's a long way out there, boy. You want to pump your arms, tuck and glide to get that. But it's going to be foreign. He's going to have to learn through playing the game, and then you really slow it down internally. That's where you really become adequate to good and above average.
He also has the opportunity, guys, during batting practice to really go out there and watch bat angles from batting practice, so he can get comfortable reading the bat angles, so he could kind of cheat, so to speak, in where he believes the ball's going to go. And the only way to do that is during batting practice. That's where you get your work in.
Here's Santana now with 2 outs. Boyd has 4 strikeouts. Pulled to third. That is a foul ball. Nick with a diving play there. 1-2.
Now you got 3 guys over here. Usually with 2 strikes, Kinsler will go over here. Now for some reason he's staying. Usually they move up the middle a bit. Guess they think that they're going to continue to pound him in, and they're going to adjust their defense accordingly.
Santana doubled to the corner and left in his first at bat. 1 and 2 hits for the Tribe today. And just a touch outside. Run the count to 2-2.
Simo, did you see him step out of the box there right as he comes set?
I did.
What does that comes to your mind?
Right back up the middle, and they had him played nicely there. Kinsler will throw him out to end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Indians in the 4th. We'll pick it up when we come back in the bottom of the 4th inning. Hurricane Harvey by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Harvey to 90999. By doing that, you'll make a $10 donation, and your donation enables the Red Cross to prepare for, respond to, and help people recover from this disaster. Well, back here at Comerica, as we go to the bottom of the fourth, it'll be Presley to lead things off in a scoreless game so far. The Tigers and Indians, game 1 of 2 here today. Presley, Cabrera, Castellanos. Carrasco has given up 1 single, got a double play ball. That was back in the 3rd. Chopper back up the middle indoor. And Presley is out 1 away. Well, you know, Justin Verlander provided a lot of memories here in the Call Sam call of the game. JV, as we flash back to 2006. And Simo, you were part of JV's rookie season. And so you got a front row seat to what this guy could do early on in his career.
Guys, quite frankly, I really thought Justin Verlander, every time he took the mound, was going to throw a no-hitter. That's how dominant he looked on the mound. He got a chance to throw a couple in his career, but if you just watched him on every 5th day that he took the bump, man, you just felt like something special was going to happen.
Well, he threw 2 no-hitters, but he also countless times would be in the 6th, 7th, even the 9th inning with no-hitters and fall just a little bit short. But you're right, it seemed give you like every single time he took the mound, you have a chance tonight at a no-no.
Well, he did, and he had a couple this year as well. He was 17-9 in 2006, Rookie of the Year. Just look at, he only had 124 strikeouts and 186 innings pitched. Now, if you look down here, 2017, 176 strikeouts and 170 innings. So he's at, you know, just to watch the evolution of JV over the years has been impressive. And his velo is still 97 when he wants it. That is very, very unusual to be able to keep the strength in your arm and the velocity.
And also, just to add on to what Gibby's saying there, guys, you want to talk about somebody that had the ability to elevate their game in the biggest moments. He lived for the big moment, and he would find a way to reach that second gear, that gear that most pitchers or a lot of pitchers or a lot of professional athletes don't have. Justin Verlander has it, man, and he can get to that spot. And so I'm excited to see what he does over in Houston.
He's going to be pumped up in his first game.
Yes, he is.
Down goes Cabrera, another strikeout, 3rd of the game now for Carrasco. Well, it's a great point, Simo, because how many times would you see JV allow a base runner or 2? It might be the 6th or 7th, and all of a sudden you just knew he was going to go from 93, 94 to 97, 98.
I mean, he's just a fierce competitor. And again, we talk about big moments, big spots in games. He just believed every time that he was out there, Mario and Gibb, that he was just better than the guy in the batter's box, and he continued to prove it by going out, pounding the zone with the 101, 102 mile-per-hour fastball, and then throwing that nasty knee-buckling breaking ball to get you out. I mean, he's just one of those guys that he's a special kind of talent, and obviously going to be missed here in Detroit. Definitely an icon.
Yeah, you know, if he was a boxer, just to give you an analogy, when he got guys in first and second, he would hit you with everything he had, and he just went with his best stuff and believed that he would come out on top, and he usually did.
Nick Castellanos, the batter here with 2 outs.
I used to give him a hard time, guys, about, you know, his arrogance. You know, at times he come off like he's arrogant, and I asked him about it one day in the back of the bus. I go, why are you so arrogant? And he says, see, I'm not arrogant, man. I'm just confident. And it showed on the field. I mean, he was just a confident competitor and believed he's better than you are.
1-2.
You can see Carrasco, lots of high fastballs, and then that slider and that breaking ball really giving the Tigers headaches now. That's a nasty snapdragon.
Come on, Nick, pick the stick. Time. I need some run. I need some points.
Begging. The 1-2. Bender low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So Simo, right now, 2-2 count. What would your thought process be up there at the plate?
Well, because Carrasco throws hard, I'm going to just change my sights. I'm going to think more right center, so I'll be in a good position. If he does throw me a breaking ball, I'd have enough time to read and react to it and hopefully barrel it up.
In the air to center field again on the line, right at Jackson, and a 1-2-3 inning for Carrasco.
Pitch by pitch, Matt Boyd. We were talking about what makes the good one and what doesn't. This is to Santana. You see he leaves it up out over the plate. He goes for a double. When that ball gets down, look at the drop on it, the arm motion. Batter swings right over top of it. And that's the key to Matt Boyd. He needs to be able to do that consistently, and his success rate will go up, and he's going to throw more good games because of it. See the usage, fastball 64%, changeup, he always uses that secondly, then the curveball.
Well, he's looked great today, a 1-2-3 fourth inning. In fact, he's had back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. Yandy Diaz leads it off for the Indians. No score in the fifth. Missing low, and the count on Diaz now goes 3-0. Boyd finished up the month of August 0-3 with an 8.70 ERA, 8.75 to be exact. So he has looked awfully good here based on those numbers today. And Diaz straight up like a statue, takes strike one. Geyer then Gomes, the bottom of the lineup here for the Indians. Right back off Boyd. It's going to roll to third, barehanded by Castellanos, who throws him out.
Do it, Nick.
What a play by Nick Castellanos, and hopefully Boyd's all right. Seymour, you were right down there. That ball, did you see where it connected?
I didn't see exactly where it connected, but the play that Nick Castellanos to finish that play was outstanding.
Looks like he got him in the backside. He turned around. Nick comes in, bare hands it. He's got his hand and his feet set up properly. Well, that's something that a couple of years ago Nick would not have done, but good read there. Now that happened fairly quickly, but Nick took his time so he could make a good accurate throw, and they cut him down.
Boyd will get a few warm-up pitches here to see if he'll be all right.
Well, you could imagine it's going to sting quite a bit if somebody took and knuckled you. I don't know if it got him in the calf or in the hamstring. It looked like he turned. Looks okay to me.
Hopefully it'll be something that won't tighten up as the day goes on.
Just turned into a little bruise. You ever see those on those guys' legs? It's really white in the middle and black and blue on the outside. So you see, he sees it, he turns. Oh, it's not bad. That's there on the IT band. We'll foam roll that right out, won't we?
That's right.
Here's Brandon Geyer.
Who doesn't know what
roll it out.
Who doesn't know what a foam roller is?
Foam rollers are awesome, man. Especially for bad backs.
Or 5 days of golf in a row.
There you go. 2-0. Geyer walked in the second. You know, Simo, we were talking earlier about how the month of September now is going to really open up some opportunities, whether it's for guys like Boyd or Farmer or anybody in the outfield, guys like, well, you know, Jacoby Jones. And so I think September now certainly has taken on a different tenor, but it's a month of opportunity here.
It truly is, and I'm excited for the young players. I always get excited for the young players that get a chance to get to the major league level and have a chance to impact the game and live out their dreams. And so I'm excited to see what happens. Hopefully they're all able to feel good about the season, you know, leaving, you know, going into 2018. You're just hoping that they're able to play well and make it tough, make the decisions tough for the Tigers.
Pretty good play up the middle there.
Yeah, Geyer really got on his horse right there. This looked like he was going to hit the bag when it went right over top of it. Ian really puts a lot of mustard on there. See if he got him. Ooh, I don't know.
It's close.
And they may want to look at it, and they are.
Ooh.
Tito Francona will challenge here.
May have a runner here.
Attention fans, the previous play is currently
So this play under review right now. Geyer, it appeared, at least on that last replay, to just hit the bag right before the ball hit the glove. And what do they teach on that? Give you hit the front of the bag, right?
Yeah, you want to get there as quick as you can. I want to bring back, you know, there's been some criticism of the reviews on some of the plays this year. Did you guys see the one on the home run? Where was it at? Was it at San Francisco? Where the ball hit on top of the yellow line. The guy touched it. I thought it was a. Sometimes you get amazed that they don't reverse a call or so. So you think they're going to reverse this one?
I think they might. Yeah, I think they might, because I think that last replay we saw was pretty clear. Yeah, he's safe. Yeah. So that'll be an infield hit for Geyer.
Good play by Ian, but Geyer beat it out.
Not to mention a pretty good scoop down there at first base by Navarro, who showed to have a really nice glove. So it's a single for Geyer. That'll bring up Yan Gomes.
Guys talking about the call-ups. Doc Holliday's back here in Detroit in the big leagues, a place where he told me that he loves playing, back with the organization. So I know he's excited. So there's a few guys that are excited. They're looking forward to the opportunities, and hopefully they get an opportunity to take advantage.
You know, I saw Doc before the game today. Said, "Good to see you back. How you doing?" He said, "I am awesome."
Yeah, right.
And you could tell he's just so glad to be back here.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be? Iro Labor, they brought him up as well. Big lefty.
Ground ball, base hit right field. Geyer will stop at second, and the Indians now have 2 men on.
So they called up 4 altogether. Blaine Hardy's back. Talked about Labor, Holliday, and Efren Navarro is playing first base today.
Holliday put together a solid season in AAA. 12 homers, 50 RBIs, close to 300.
He's a good catcher and well liked.
Brad indicated there will be more call-ups a little bit later on once the postseason is done in the minor leagues. Here's Doc Holliday, who got rave reviews from Drew Verhagen, who was called up earlier, and Verhagen said that Holliday really worked with him quite a bit on a lot of different aspects of the pitcher-catcher matchup. There's a base hit to right field. That's going to get a run in, and all the way to third goes Geyer, and now the Indians have the lead on the single by Giovanni Urshela.
Those guys swinging the bats early, certainly with guys in scoring position. Urshela right there, just the ball looks like he's trying to get it in, doesn't get it in quite far enough. He fights it into the right field.
3 straight singles.
Single. Here we're going to take a look at the base runners.
RBI 9 for Urshela. That'll bring up Lindor now, the top of the lineup.
Pretty big reverse, isn't it?
Yeah, good.
Geyer
good
scores the run.
Did he go? He did. Strike one on Lindor.
Because I thought this kid would be a good player, obviously a great player at the big league level. I knew he would be really good on the defensive side, but I didn't expect for him to hit 25. He has 25 homers. He's hitting with some power. He's an RBI machine, 66 RBIs. He's one of the best young shortstops in the game, no question about that.
He has got a legit shot of hitting 30 homers this year. Boyd now with the 0-1. It's outside, 1-1. Simo, who you got, Lindor or Correa? You got to pick one.
I'm going to go with Correa. I just like his size. You can't teach size. He plays, I mean, he runs well. He's got 5 tools. Again, everybody makes the comparison of a young Alex Rodriguez.
You know what I like about Lindor, though, is the infectiousness, I guess, that he brings to a ball club. He's always smiling. He's always bouncing around. I think there's value to that.
Yeah, I would go with Lindor, maybe just because I've seen him a little bit, and there's just not a lot of. Correa's a little bigger.
Rip foul.
Also, Lindor's a switch hitter, like that as well. Just kind of growing on me, but again, I've seen him play more than the fella down there in Houston. Then you've got the injury factor. Who can stay healthy? If you're
That's
looking
true.
over a year, and Correa's had a little problem this year.
I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these guys.
No, they're
though.
both stars.
The 2-2 is lifted back out of play.
And I also, we're going to take a look at some numbers on Francisco Lindor. 25 homers, Correa at 20. Didi Gregorius, remember when he first came up with the Diamondbacks at 19. Boy, he's coming on strong for the Yankees.
Now Lindor calls time at home plate.
The other thing about Lindor, I sent him a request for a charitable thing.
And?
On it.
Really?
Sent a bat, yep.
Nice.
Thank you. Uh-oh.
Ooh, look out.
Hot, coming in hot.
Oh, and a catch in the stands. How about that? Brought his glove and it paid off, because you're right, that thing was coming in hot.
Gibby, how about that emergency hack you were trying to teach me back in the day?
Oh, yeah, that's deep.
That's the one you're talking about, right? That's spread out in emergency time, see? And I worked on it, I didn't ever perfect it, but I definitely worked on it. I appreciate that, too. I learned a lot from you.
Has the game gone away from the emergency hack, or maybe the 2-strike approach, to be more accurate?
I think so. Guys are punching out now at a high rate. But they're also hitting home runs, so you have to
look at that. Look how deep that is.
Oh,
right there.
that's deep, Gibby. That's deep.
It almost took a thing. If you could get really good at it, you get some catcher's interferences, because it takes it right out of their glove. That's because my philosophy in this count was to protect against off speed, so that's why I waited to let it come further. Okay, but when they throw the heater, you got to scramble to get the bat on it.
Ball 3 now on Lindor.
That's amazing. I was listening to Sheffield talking about hitting, and he said he used to, without 2 strikes, minimize areas. So if a guy was throwing a good slider, he took everything down, but he swung at everything up. Did you ever hear him talk about any of that, Simo?
I have. I've got a chance to obviously play with him here in 2007, and I picked his brain all the time. He would also talk about hitting through guys and not trying to hit it over them, creating that backspin, and we saw him do that multiple times.
Everybody's got a different way to look at the game, but ultimately we're trying to accomplish the same thing.
Couple of walks now for Boyd, which has produced a little bit of trouble here in the 5th. Bases are loaded.
I like this visit right here. Give him a chance to get a breather, talk it out a little bit. And some players, when they get into situations, pressure situations, they have a hard time having their thought process where it needs to be, and they think maybe the wrong way a bit. So you want to take time from time to time, and youngsters, give them a chance and an opportunity, or say something to them, and will put them in the right spot.
And also, guys, given the fact that Matthew Boyd is making some minor adjustments in his delivery, you don't want to think about the mechanics when the pressure gets on. And so that's going to be a challenge here, because a lot of younger players, you revert back to the old way, what feels comfortable to you. So I'm hoping that he's able to continue to trust the mechanical adjustments that he's made, and he can get himself out of this jam.
Austin Jackson, he's going to be ready first pitch, I promise you. He just walked a guy. They had a mound visit. I doubt that he would take this if it's right there.
Way high, 1-0. See, 23rd pitch in this inning for the left-hander, and the pitch count now overall starting to rise at 92. He's got him loaded up. Here's the 1-0. Jackson, a single and a strikeout in this game for the former Tiger, who spent 5 seasons here in Detroit and made some highlight reel catches over the years.
Well, Jackson was trying to go big fly on that swing, guys. That was a little big there with the bases loaded.
Try and empty him.
1-2.
I remember having a conversation with Rudy Jaramillo, which was a hitting instructor, guys, for a long time with the Texas Rangers. And he said the biggest mistake the hitters make in the batter's box with the bases loaded is that instead of doing your job, that means getting the guy in from third base, you get big. You try to clear the bases. You want to hit a grand slam. And he says he talks so much about focusing on the job at hand. And that's your only job, is to get this guy from third base in. So you shorten up a little bit.
You know, really, Simo, it's a great point, because what would be the difference between first and third right now with less than 2 outs? All you're trying to do is get that guy in from third.
Well, when you're in the batter's box right now, that's your only job. Now, if you could able to drive in the runner at second base, I mean, that's a bonus. That's a plus. But you have to get this guy in at third base. And you talk about guys driving in 100 runs every year. These are the gimme RBIs that they talk about. You got to get them.
Swing and a miss, and Boyd dusted him. That's a big strikeout there, number 5.
We went up top right here, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Earlier in the game, fastball was a little hotter, 94-ish or so, but he's got him set up, got him 2 strikes on him. The hitters are going to get more aggressive when they're got down in the count, especially with 2 strikes. And Austin Jackson's one of those guys, and he goes on down.
Tough customer here in Ramirez. He's gotten him to hit a ball on the ground a couple of times. One of them a double play. He's 0 for 2. And it's ball 1 high. That'll bring McCann out to the mound.
You know, when I was asking you about Santana stepping out of the box, Simo, just reminded me sometimes when I was looking at something what the pitcher was doing, I would step out, so he'd have to do it a couple of times so I could confirm it. Just to see if he was tipping something. I just thought, I'm going to watch this guy. I think he's a smart hitter, and sometimes it seems like they know it's coming from Matt Boyd.
I thought you were thinking, break his rhythm, because he had kind of got into a real nice rhythm there to slow him down.
That is popped up shallow right field, and Kinsler back. Presley to retire the side. Minimal damage done. They'll settle for 1 run. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Break brought to you by Jeep. Looking back to June 12th, 2007, Justin Verlander and the Tigers against the Brewers. He would strike out 12 that night. Maglio Ordonez putting the squeeze on J.J. Hardy for the final out and the first no-hitter of Justin Verlander's career. What a magical night that was, guys. Of course, Justin Verlander moving out of the Houston Astros after being dealt at the midnight non-waiver trade deadline last night.
Yeah, Mick, a lot of people won't forget that night. It was certainly magical here at the ballpark as Matuk pops it up. First base side, gonna be a tough play, and it's out of play.
Guys, and I definitely won't forget that night. I had a good view in left field, watching, was on the balls of my feet, excited, wanted to make a play. And I've told this story before. I didn't get one ball in that game.
The whole game?
The whole game. I mean, JV he had his foot on the gas, guys. Every ball was hit either center field to right field. I mean, it didn't even come close to left field. Guys were not getting the bat hit out in front against Justin Verlander that day. So left field was very lonely out there.
I can imagine, Simo, you were probably thinking with 2 outs in the ninth, man, hit this thing to me so I could squeeze the final out.
No, yes, I was. I really did, guys. I wanted to make a play in that game. I mean, think about it. Guys throwing a no-no. I just wanted to make a play. You want to be a part of it.
Line to left field, foul.
So I teased Justin Verlander, but I'm like, dude, you could even get me like one ball to where I could just felt like I participated in the game.
You know, the weird thing about that, when you compare his first no-hitter to the second no-hitter, he had quite a few strikeouts in that first one, and very few, I think only 4 in the one against Toronto. But the thing I remember vividly was him touching triple digits in the 9th inning, thinking, who in the world does this? You know, who has this kind of arm? And it was wild. Carrasco facing Matuk, Navarro, and McCann here.
I mean, you can still ask yourself, why is JV still able to throw the ball the way he does after 2,500 innings?
Swing and a miss. Matuk down on strikes.
That's nasty slider.
Yeah, boy's having a tough time picking up that slider today. He's got a good fastball come in and go along with that, which actually makes that slider that much better. Because out of his hand there, Mario and Gib, you know this for sure, that ball looks like a fastball of his hand until it gets to the plate, and then it takes a left turn.
Yeah, you think it's the heater, and then it just goes straight down, and it's quick.
Good arm action on it as well, Gibby.
Yeah, he's got a good slingy motion.
Navarro is 0 for 1, a bounce out in the second, one of the call-ups for the Tigers as Verhagen continues to heat up in the bullpen. Navarro was having a good year in Toledo. 10 homers, 61 RBIs. Former Los Angeles Angel, who was also a trade partner with the Tigers, picking up Justin Upton before the deadline yesterday as well. And I'm not sure who I was surprised more by, the Verlander deal or the Upton deal. The Upton deal kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, once the Upton deal happened, it was pretty, I think, obvious that they were going to try and do JV as well. I'm sure they tried to get Kinsler and Vmart, trying to dump all the big salaries and put themselves in a position to pour a lot of money into their player development, scouting.
Well, also with J-Up having the out in his deal after this season, made out act quick. You know, you don't want to lose him and not get anything back from him. So I think Justin kind of forced the hand.
Do you think that he was going to opt out?
Well, there was some rumblings about him opting out, given the fact that the Tigers were in a rebuilding mode, and he felt like they were. And so, yeah, I really do believe that, given how the season has gone, I believe he would have opted out.
Hey, let's bring in Matt Shepard. Shep.
Yeah, it's interesting, guys, just what you were talking about. I was visiting with Al Avila earlier today for Tigers Live, and I asked him, do you think Justin Upton was going to opt out? Is that the reason you put that deal together so quickly? And he said, I was in Colorado. Justin Upton's agent was also in Colorado. They talked. He got a sense after that conversation that, yes, Justin Upton would have chosen to use the out clause, and give an opportunity to be back on the free agent market. Al Avila wanted to get something for him rather than lose him for nothing.
Simo, do you think he would have got upgraded?
Do I think he would have?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, Gibbs. You don't know how the market will be for, especially for a position player. You know, this happened early in the season with J.D. Martinez. I felt like he's been one of the best, most productive hitters, and especially in the last 3 years. And the market just wasn't in his favor early in the season as well. So it's a tough market right now for power hitters.
It is. I think that he likes it. The Angels, he'll probably get them to add a little something on, and he'll want to stay there. I mean, if you're in a good spot, you're in a good spot. He was in a good spot here. Look at how well he performed. So obviously there was some form of comfort here in Comerica.
I think he'll stay too, Gib.
Broken bat looper to right field. That ball's going to drop. Base hit. And McCann will get a 2-out single.
The center fielder, Jacoby Jones.
And all Carrasco and McCann can do is kind of chuckle over that one.
It's another emergency stroke.
Yep.
He's definitely looking for a slider. This ball's going away from him, and he hits right off the end of the bat. That's a slider. Bat shatters. That's an old Trammell hit right there. Alan Trammell. Call that a fiddle. Just play it right in there.
Here is Jacoby Jones.
He's going to see some sliders.
Chopped to third base, and it's going to get through. A base hit. McCann will go to second, and the Tigers now have something going here with 2 outs in the 5th. Seeing-eyed single just got past Urshela.
Yeah, look who's up. Had it predicted right. No home runs. There's a little gapper right here. Score a couple. Iglesias has been hot as of late. Does have a single in the 3rd. And the first pitch double play by Ian Kinsler erased him.
2-out wrist was good. 391. Gibby's antennas are up now. This is selection for pick the stick.
Oh, of course.
You know,
antennas are always up.
He's got 5 home runs this year, which is a career high. So we'll see. 1-0.
Nobody picked Kinsler, right?
I do not believe so.
I almost picked Ian.
Iggy with a single in the 3rd. Now he has had a lot of 3-hit games this year, 12 of them to be exact. Here's Carrasco's 1-0, and it's grounder lined foul, I should say, toward the dugout. It's going to loop around in there. Had a couple of guys ducking. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now Carrasco's got that slider. He also can throw that 2-seamer that comes down and into the righty, so it makes it very difficult. Both hard pitches to hit on each side of the plate.
Three Tigers hits in this game. Line toward left center field. That ball is going to get down, a base hit. That'll get a run in. Jones coming to 3rd. They're going to stop him there, and Iglesias has a double and an RBI. And it all started with a 2-out broken bat single.
Never know how it's going to start. You're talking about James McCann, Jacoby Jones with the seeing eye single, and then Iglesias right here. He's been hot, almost up the gap, but it is cut off by Austin Jackson. Now they're off and running. I thought they were going to maybe send Jacoby, but they shut him down, and we got now have 2nd, 3rd, 2 down, and it'll leave it up to Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, but kind of like that matchup, and you talked about it, and Mario, you told us the numbers are 391 with 2 outs with runners in score position. But mechanically, given the fact that Iggy doesn't have a lot of movement in his swing, he's a very short, compact, contact hitter. I like that matchup, and it holds true. He came through with a big knock again and continued to sizzle with runners in scoring position.
Hey, you had a good look, Simo, as well, at Jacoby Jones flying to 3rd base. I mean, it looked like they were thinking of sending him home. He got there so quick.
Well, it did look like Clark. He thought about it. It looked like, I'm pulling for Jonesy, man. I think he's got a high ceiling. He plays tremendous defense. He can run. He adds a different element to the team that I desperately think they need.
Tools.
He's got some tools. There's no question about it.
Kinsler looks at ball one. Tigers have tied the game with a run here in the 5th and a chance to go ahead.
Guys, the player weekend is still leaving a lasting impression on the fans here in Detroit. Behind me, I'm hearing them saying, "Let's go Boosie." You know, that was Nick's.
There's a chopper slowly towards short. Lindor with a running scoop, and Kinsler is out to retire the side. Simo, we'll see you on postgame. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
All right, fellas, enjoyed it like always. Thanks.
Thanks, Craig.
The Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, for tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's Chevy Labor Day sales event right out in the summer in the new Chevrolet. Find your roads at the local Chevy dealer. And by the way, there are the collection bins that are here at Comerica Park. They will be here for the weekend home games against the White Sox and Monday's game against the Royals. At Parks, Comerica Parks gates A, B, and C if you'd like to help out and donate for the victims of Hurricane Harvey. So we would appreciate you coming out to the ballpark and making your donations this weekend.
So the whole weekend, right?
Whole weekend, and then on Monday. There is a strike called. Drew Verhagen now, and a wall side windows change.
Drew's coming in out of the bullpen again. Did start 19 games down in Toledo.
Oh, that ball belted to left. Forget it. Oh, man. That is halfway up the seats and left. And Encarnacion leaned into that one. Here comes the Parrot.
Is that what that is? They call it the Parrot?
The Parrot. He's carrying his Parrot.
Maybe it's a macaw.
Well, it could be.
That's something else there. Yeah, he gets this. He's just sitting there, sitting on it. It's a hanging breaking ball right down the heart of the plate. And he's a veteran guy. He stays back on it and does not pull off it. That got out of here quick. Exit velocity off at 110 miles an hour. That's pretty hot.
Big swing there by Santana.
I wish Simo was still here. He had to be sitting on that pitch.
Encarnacion hit 10 home runs in August, and now he's off and running here in September. That'll get back out of play. 0-2 now on Santana.
And they have all kind of printouts on data on pitchers, their frequencies of what they do things and what they've done against you. And it looked to me right there that Encarnacion had some inside information and executed a very well hanging curveball out of the park.
Double and 2 at bats meanwhile for Santana. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, there is Jairo Laborde starting to warm up now for the Tigers. He was one of the 4 call-ups today. Down the right field line, hooking foul. And a broken bat for Santana. Two to 1, the Indians have gone on top. They've scored 1 in each of the last 2. Jairo Laborde warming up in the Tigers pen, was acquired with Matt Boyd and Daniel Norris in that deal for David Price a couple of years ago. So all 3 of them now have made it to the major leagues. The 1-2. You know, when you make a deal like that, Gibby, dealing a guy like Price, you get 3 guys in return. What is your expectation of how many get to the big leagues and contribute?
Well, your hope is that all of them do, but realistically, that doesn't happen because of injuries and other factors. But Laborde was kind of like the second or the third guy in the deal.
Third guy, yeah.
They loved his arm, his velocity, which he's got a very sneaky fastball. The knock on him was he had no command, and he started to curtail that a little bit, although he still walks and gets behind quite a few people.
Low ball 3 on Santana. Well, a pitch count got to Matt Boyd in this one, 98 through 5 innings. He gives way to Verhagen.
Well, Verhagen gets up the first pitch breaking ball, and now he's nibbling a little bit. Got to get it back under control. Good pitch.
Boy, long run for Iggy. He's going to get there. Nicely done. 1 gone. Fans, college football is back, and it all continues Saturday on FS1 as Maryland battles number 23 Texas. Coverage begins at 11 a.m. Eastern. Then on Sunday, check out Texas A&M as they face off with UCLA at the Rose Bowl, 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox. 1 away now for Yandy Diaz, who will stroll in here. Diaz is 0 for 2, hit a line drive off of the pitcher. And that was Matt Boyd his last time, but rolled to third, and Nick threw him out.
I think Matt Boyd may be getting a little bit of ice right now. When you get smoke like that in the leg, wanted to keep the swelling out of there if you can. Swelling gets in there, makes it much sorer than it needs to be. And of course, when it gets out, it won't hurt. Sit in a nice cold tub right now, about 48 degrees.
Sounds like fun.
You ever do that?
Negative. I've never had any reason to do that.
Have you ever swam in Lake Superior in like June?
Now, what do you think the answer to that question is?
Yeah, probably no, but I'm just asking.
No. No. Is it about the same, about 40 degrees?
You never know. You know, because you get no for an answer, you don't quit asking, right?
That's right. There's a base hit to right field for Diaz.
So you didn't answer it?
I answered. I said no.
Well, we got to try and see if we can get you up there just for a drive-by up and back one day, okay?
Yep. Well, will you do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Then I'll watch you.
I'll go in Indian River in January.
Negative. I just don't see the purpose in that.
Because if you've got soreness or you need an ice bath, that's like a natural ice bath.
Okay.
Isn't there more in nature than there is sitting in a tub?
Well, I could find more comfortable things to try and get rid of soreness.
Like what?
I don't know, like Ben Gay or something. I don't know.
You don't put heat when something is swelling. You don't put heat on it. You cool it.
I'll take an ice bag. I'll take a big plastic bag. I'll put ice in it. Then I'll just throw it on my back. You
for your leg
dive into Lake Superior. That's the difference between you and me. That's in the right field, slicing, and Presley couldn't hold on. Almost made a great play. Well, guy are still kicking.
Just let me suggest. I understand you have trouble taking suggestions, but maybe one of these days, one of these lame brain ideas will work out for you. Just something to keep in mind. You know what? In 20 years, you may be driving your motorhome down US 2 along the lake.
Let me ask you this: have you pulled?
Just say, you know what? Gibby told me this.
If you pulled 10 people off the street today and said, "Would you like to jump into Lake Superior?" and by the way, it's 40 degrees. How many would take you up on that?
It's a little warmer than that.
All right, 45 degrees.
I think several.
Navarro makes the play. I'm thinking none.
As a challenge, I think you would find many takers.
Okay. We'll bring up Yan Gomes now. I got nothing more for you.
You don't?
No. And by the way, I take umbrage for the fact that you tell me that I don't take suggestions.
Well, when the ones that you deem to be just totally
ridiculous,
yeah,
like that,
you should say, you know what? Maybe there's something to this. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? I'm going to turn a page today, and I will start saying that to ridiculous suggestions. Maybe there is something to this.
I mean, was it crickets we were eating or grasshoppers?
I think those were crickets in Seattle. Or no, they were grasshoppers. They were.
I think that would have done you, because you're just pushing yourself a little bit, and it's good for growth.
You know, looking back on that, Gibby, I wish I would have done it. That'll get away from the catcher and roll to the backstop, advance the runner, Diaz.
Okay, enough.
I will say this, man. What you eating that grasshopper in Seattle was pretty impressive.
I ate several of them because I heard they were nutritious. Anyway, we got to get Drew Verhagen. He's got 2 outs, 1-1 count here. He can ice his shoulder after he gets out of this inning. How's that? The conventional Mario way. Bag of ice. Strap it on.
The smart way.
I bet you they got cold tubs in that locker room too. The guys hit them every day. Plus it shocks your nervous system. It just resets you.
Yeah, that sounds great. There's a chopper to third base, foul. 1-2. Somebody told me it speeds up your metabolism too. Is that good for weight loss?
Why? Why do you ask?
No, I'm just asking. Somebody told me about that, and I was wondering if that's true.
Somebody that needs to lose weight?
No, I didn't say that. Well, now we can't divulge the identity of the person that told me to ask you that. The 1-2 is popped up foul.
Ooh, that was right back at us.
1-2 on Gomes, who got a single in his last at bat.
No, Verhagen, if he wants to throw this breaking ball, he's got to put it right down into the dirt. It's got to break right into the plate. Cannot leave any elevation. Remember, Gomes hit the ball behind the runner to the right side of the infield. You know he's going to wait on it. So you got to try and get him to chase it and pound him inside after that.
Got him to chase it. That'll end the inning, but the Indians go back on top. Encarnacion hits his 32nd home run of the season, and he's toting that parrot around the bases here today at Comerica Park. 10 p.m. Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under get a free Nicholas Castellanos poster. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Tigers down by a run now as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Game 1 of a doubleheader today between the Tribe and the Tigers. Presley leads it off, showing bunt. He's backed out of there by Carrasco.
Bottom of the 6th right here. Carrasco at 70 pitches, so he's done a pretty good job of managing his pitches, trying to go deeper into this game.
Meanwhile, Boyd surrendered just 1 run in 5 innings of work before the pitch count got to him. That's fouled away, 1-1.
Now this Cleveland pitching staff, last 5 games, dominant. They've won all 5. I think the rotations recorded in the last 5 wins. 1.60 ERA in the last 5. So Carrasco's tried to stay on track as his teammates have in the previous 5.
Popped up. Shallow left field. The shortstop Lindor back to the grass. 1 gone.
You know, talking about strikeouts as well. The strikeout rate per 9, I believe a record. There you see 27.3% since 1900.
Wow.
Percentage of batters facing that K.
That Astros bullpen, man, they've got a ton of guys that come out averaging double digits per 9 in strikeouts.
Well, all in all, the strikeout rate in Major League Baseball, you know,
through the roof.
It's a record.
Cabrera struck out in the 4th. He is 0 for 2. Also has a fly ball. The 0-1. Joe Jimenez warming up now in the Tigers pen.
Joe Jimenez is a good arm. Been very good in the minor leagues. He's got one more place to do it, and that's right here.
It was funny, Brad was saying at the beginning of the year that everybody was clamoring for Jimenez to come up to the big leagues when K-Rod was struggling at times, and Brad kept saying, you know, just because we run him up here doesn't mean there's not a learning curve yet. And dominating in the minor leagues doesn't always transpire to doing the same in the major leagues. And I think we've learned that with Joe, but we've also learned he has really good stuff.
He's got good stuff, but you got to develop 2 really good pitches to come out of the bullpen, and probably a 3rd. Where you overpower in the minor leagues, it's much harder to do so here.
1 ball, 2 strikes. In your minor league travels this year, have you had a chance to see Brian Garcia pitch?
I have not. I believe he's been in Double-A, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and then called up.
I've been watching him since he's been in the organization and heard a lot of good things said about him from the guys that have been through Erie.
And he's a guy that has 3 pitches. Here's the 1-2. Foul back.
Yeah, I've been in the lower levels mostly. The real young kids, pretty much from advanced A and below. I know, like all the Rovers, they make their rounds, see all the clubs. Of course, scouts, they scout everybody, and then they come through and get the big league club. They do all the minor league teams, and they come in and get the big league clubs late.
Line drive caught by Santana and right to hit a leap at the last second. Hard hit ball, 2 gone. And here's the updated top 10 prospects now for the Tigers.
Well, you can look at nobody's older than 23 years old on that list, and that's why they call them prospects, I guess. There's a lot of good names there. That list has changed a ton. You see Rogers is new, Daz Cameron is new, Candelario's new recently, Perez is new. So Tigers trying to beef up their minor leagues and really going to focus on developing from within more than they have in the past. Actually, as far as way back.
Only 4 of those guys who are in the top 10 now were in the top 10 at the beginning of the year. So that gives you an idea of how much turnover. The Perez youngster is one of the key pieces, if not the key piece. Franklin Perez from the Astros in the JV deal. 2-0 on Castellanos. $80 now for Carrasco in the pitch count total. We're in the 6th, 2 out, nobody on. Fastball up 3-0. Tigers got their only run with a 2-out broken bat single to get it started in the 5th, and eventually a 2-out double by Iglesias. Nick takes a 3-0 strike. Fastball from Carrasco. Carrasco came in 9-2 on the road this year with an ERA just a shade over 3. He's been much better away from Progressive Field. So one hopper that eats up the second baseman. Ramirez into center field, a 2-out base runner.
Well, Nick's really lined out 2 times to center field, and this one puts the barrel on it again, and this does eat up Ramirez. You see he's trying to back up as it hits right there in the lip. We should give him a hit on this.
They did. 2-out single. Mickey Callaway comes out and has a chat now with Carrasco.
Well, Nick may be a guy. See if the count gets to be right here. You know, Matuk's going to be seeing some sliders. Chase out into the left-handed batter's box. So take a peek here and look for some keys, and maybe you can sneak a base. Mike can get a 2-out hit. Tigers can score it up.
Strike 1 to Matuk, who fanned in the 5th, hit by a pitch in the 2nd.
Many times when you get hit, the pitcher will go away. They don't want to hit you again, number one, but they know that you're not going to be diving.
Good block at home there by Gomes.
That'd been a great pitch to go on right there. That's what you're searching for, a count when you think he's going to throw it into the dirt. We get a shot.
Tigers have only 5 hits in this game. They trail 2-1 in their 6th. Fouled away. 1-2 now on Matuk. Like he had a double, a triple, a homer on the last road trip. The home run that he hit was his 10th. That was on Tuesday night in Colorado, and that now represents a career high for Matuk.
Yeah, Cleveland's thinking the same thing I am. Nick's been pretty relaxed over there, and again 1-4-0 on the leg kick last time by Carrasco. That's doable. You're trying to get a stolen base. It might be a breaking ball in the dirt right here.
Gomes this year at 42% behind the dish for Cleveland.
That's first, isn't it?
It is.
And Perez is right behind him.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. Matuk is out on strikes to end the inning, and 6 punch-outs now for Carrasco.
Bank game summary. Giovanni Urshela, RBI single in the top of the 5th. Tigers come back on a Iglesias gapper that scores James McCann. Then into the 6th inning, Edwin Encarnacion goes yard off of Drew Verhagen, and that is where we stand. 2-1 Tigers trailing here in the top of the 7th.
Tigers going back to the pen now. They got Joe Jimenez coming in.
Well, Joe's learned a few things here so far. You see, this is his 15th game. The ERA is not indicative of who he is in 11 innings. Well, the guy does have 10 Ks and only 4 walks. Fastballs, you see 67%, the slider 22. Just needs to continue to develop location.
Wall side windows pitching change with Jimenez coming in. He's promptly greeted by Urshela's single to right field. Second hit for the number 9 hitter, Giovanni Urshela.
Urshela, you can tell he's a first pitch swinger. That's the 2nd time this game. And here's a fastball. It's going to be right down the heart of the plate. Do you want it to be more corners? See, he's not going to try and pull the ball. He shoots it over Ian Kinsler's glove, and he got a leadoff single.
Francisco Lindor is 0 for 2, had a walk in his last at bat. Strike 1 to Lindor. Indians got a run in the 5th, but they loaded the bases with only 1 out. Boyd got out of it by striking out Jackson and then getting Ramirez to fly out. It's been a tight one all day long. 2-1 right now. The Indians have the lead in the 7th. Oh, and 2 on Lindor. Indians trying to extend their winning streak, which right now stands at 7 straight after sweeping the Yankees in New York. And they've won 4 of their last 5 against the Tigers in the season series.
And they're just a very good team, peaking at the right time. And when you're Joe Jimenez, right now a lot goes on. You got a runner on first base who may run, so you've got to manage that. Your holds, your picks, your speeds to first base or to home base, and you got to try and get Lindor out. So this is doesn't seem like it should be a lot, but when you're a young kid and you're trying to find your way, a lot going on.
Jackson on deck. Here's the 1-2 in the air toward left, playable for Matuk. Mikey hauls it in, 1 gone. Fans, don't forget RBI Baseball 2017 is out now for Xbox One, PS4, iOS, and Android. Enjoy fast-paced pick-up and play action packed with your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and more. Learn more at RBIGame.com. So Lindor has been handled for the most part of this game. Here is Jackson.
Nick better watch, he may bunt here.
Swing and a miss. Jackson a single in the first, strikeouts in each of the last 2. 8 total hits for Cleveland, 5 for the Tigers. Now they go 1. This is the 2nd stint this year for Jimenez with the big club. Called up on July the 31st. Down in Toledo, a very good ERA of 1.44. Ball high, and the count goes 2-1.
Looked like Joe's rushing on some of these pitches, trying to be extra quick to the plate. He's under about a 1.5 right there, which is a very good time, but you still have to be able to get your velo. You still have to be able to locate. So again, it's something that he's got to balance. All these things that he has to execute to be successful.
3-1 on Jackson. Jose Ramirez on deck. Verhagen came on in the 6th and was greeted by a home run by Encarnacion. And now Jimenez here in the 7th. That is popped up. Shallow right field. And it's going to be Presley calling off Kinsler. 2 gone. Chevrolet's most dependable player, it's going to be Jose Ramirez, who this year once again having a really good season for the Tribe.
Well, you can see 40 doubles and 20 home runs in the season before age 25. There's 3 guys there, Sizemore, Ramirez, and Trotsky. Hal Trotsky, remember him?
He was a tad before my time.
Tram would remember him.
Really?
I can, yeah. Here, John Keating knew him as well.
Anyone before the 30s or 40s, Keating's in. There's ball 1 to Ramirez. They've got him 3 times, including once on a double play.
So, who's made the most outs hitting in Major League history? Got any idea? I got this one. So
who's made the most outs?
Yeah.
Of any kind?
Of any player from at bats.
I will guess Babe Ruth.
What was that?
Babe Ruth.
Close. Pete Rose.
Oh, well, that wasn't really close.
How about the most
Pete Rose, really?
Caught stealings?
Maury Wills. Ricky
another great, yeah, Ricky Henderson.
At least I was a little closer there.
Yeah, but you think he has the most hits, so you would never think about him.
Gotcha.
Same with Ricky.
Now the 2-1 from Jimenez. Swing and a miss.
This is a really good pitch by Jimenez. This is what he's got to do. Look at the changeup. It's developing. 2-1 count. He's behind. Hitters count. And you pull the string. That's what makes you pitch in the big leagues for a long time. You're just looking for that heater. You come back with the fastball in on his hands. This is a very good hitter.
And he's somewhat of a remarkable story because he was a rather pedestrian hitter his first year in the major leagues. Broke onto the scene last year with a huge season. But in the minors, he was a career .304 hitter.
Came up, somebody got hurt, and here he is.
Down the right field line, this is going to be trouble. It's going to go all the way to the wall and might get a run in. Presley will dig it up. They're going to stop the runner at third base. That's going to be a double for Jose Ramirez. 2nd and 3rd now with 2 outs. That'll bring up Encarnacion.
Here's the fastball. See, it runs out over the plate. He actually hits it off the end of the bat. See, he missed the target. A little too much middle. Again, just showing the difference between hits and outs. And he's got to be looking for that changeup again after he threw that one, but didn't quite locate that well enough. But a good play by Presley down there in right field to get it in quickly to Kinsler, who stops the runner at third. Here's the big boy, big play of the game. It happened in the 6th inning. Edwin Encarnacion had a tie game, 1 apiece. He just sits all over that breaking ball. Averaged about 30 home runs a year for 6 or so. Started very slowly this year, but back on track.
Encarnacion, after signing that big deal in the offseason, may have been feeling the additional pressure of providing offense and really kind of replacing a guy like Mike Napoli, who's in the middle of their lineup last year and drove in over 100 runs.
Well, I don't really know what happens in that situation, but the character that he has, you can tell, because he hung in there and turned it around. You know, some guys just aren't able to do so. You got to be strong mentally, have conviction in what you're doing.
Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Good off-speed pitch right there. Encarnacion's trying to go out of the yard again.
He's been on base 24 straight games, including today.
Get it in. Ooh.
0-2. Nine hits now for the Indians. They have him at second and third at 2 outs.
Oh, double this in.
Went away with a breaking ball, but would not chase. 1-2. What is the theory behind doubling up that fastball?
Well,
in?
not many people double those pitches in, and I just think Encarnacion's looking off speed right there. So if you throw it a strike, he's going to hammer it.
Way outside again. 2-2 now on Encarnacion.
And when you get ahead of when a hitter gets ahead, I think they tend to get a little big. Now Encarnacion, he's a veteran guy, so he's better at just making sure he throttles down and mechanically strikes the ball properly. He does not overswing. See how he's got that open stance? He's kind of looking at that ball. I think that fastball can run way in on him. Looks like a slider there. Not real big, not real sharp right now. You can see he's working on it. Spin isn't quite where it needs to be. You're watching pitchers on TV. You look at some of the sliders that go in, they look like they're going to straight, and then they just go straight down. Those are the ones that are good.
It's flared toward right field, not deep, and Presley makes the catch to retire this side.
Good job, Joe.
Efren Navarro will lead things off when we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Efren Navarro will lead off, and no one in this ballpark in a Tigers dugout is rooting for him more than Andrew Romine. And I know you're thinking right now, what are you talking about? Well, Romine and Navarro came up through the Angel system together at every stop. Rookie ball, A, double A, triple A, and were roommates for most of that. They got so close, fellas, that Efren Navarro was in Andrew Romine's wedding. And now they're back here together with the Tigers and hoping to make a difference today. Back upstairs to you.
Yeah, we'll see if Mr. Navarro can make a difference right now here as Carrasco goes back to the hill in a one-run game. Bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Navarro, McCann, Jones for the Tigers. Hey, tip of the cap. Another nice play out there in the seats. The Tribe making some changes defensively that we'll get to momentarily. 0-1 Navarro. Whistled foul, back out of play. 0-2. Efren is 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out. It's funny how a lot of times you're kind of reunited way down the road in baseball. They took different paths to get here in Detroit, but Romine and Navarro, really, really good friends, now reunited in the Old English D. Here's the 0-2. Got him. Strike 3 in the inside corner. Navarro's out of there. One gone.
That's a filthy pitch right there. Been coming in inside all day. Came in here with the two-seamer. Look at it. Looks like it's inside. It's going to swing way back. Look at how far this ball swings. Catches the inside corner. Got to really tell yourself not to give up on that pitch. It's hard to do. Looks like it's going to hit you.
Here are the defensive changes. Jackson moves to left. Zimmer comes into the game and plays center field. He can really go get it out there. Geyer is in right. Santana moves to first. Encarnacion is out of the game. Zimmer will bat in his spot. Ball 1.
Let's look at the versatility that this Cleveland team has. They've got the lead. They're going for it here in the 7th inning. Tito Francona. All the data suggests this is the best way for him to win the game. Leaving their bullpen.
Carrasco at 92 pitches here in the 7th. He has 7 strikeouts. Strike called on McCann on the outer edge. 2-1. Mack, a broken bat single in the 5th, and that got it started. It came with 2 outs. Tigers eventually scored it.
Alex Wilson tuning up.
2-2. Jacoby Jones will be next as you scope out the Tiger box today. Only 5 hits for the Detroiters against Carrasco. To center field, Zimmer coming in, gonna drop, base hit, another looping single for McCann. His 2nd hit. Time now for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Cameron Maben is apparently on his way to the Houston Astros.
Yep, you see he was claimed off waivers. Dylan Bundy, 5 starts, 4-0 record for the Orioles. How about them? My goodness, everybody wrote them off. Dodgers got swept. First time this season. Time to panic? They have 91 wins with a month to go.
They also have Kershaw coming off the DL soon, so probably not. Yeah, that Baltimore team has been a little bit of a surprise. I just didn't think they had enough pitching. But they're right there now.
They can score some runs, though, can't they?
They can with the best of them. That's a lineup, especially with Tim Beckham joining them from Tampa. He had a huge month of August.
And Beckham is having his finest hour, really, since coming over to Baltimore.
Jacoby Jones, the batter. Ball 2 outside.
So probably wants to throw him a slider right here, but he's probably going to locate the fastball down and away.
Yep. 2-1.
Brian Shaw. This guy can throw every day.
They're without Andrew Miller, still on the disabled list. They still have Shaw. They still have Cody Allen, their closer. Fouled away. 2-2 now on Jacoby.
Comes a slider.
Jones had a single to keep it going in the 5th. Just got a piece of it.
So how do you get to where you can, get on a slider? I swung at the fastball up in the zone a lot, and the sliders for chase. There's different methods, I guess. You got to learn how to let it travel. You tend to want to go out and get that pitch. You got to learn to just let it come, relax, and hit it in the zone. Maybe let it get a little deeper. But I think the thing that really can help people is they just learn how to foul pitches off. There's a method to do that.
Down he goes. Snap throw to first. Got him. Well, the Tigers almost certainly will look at this. A strikeout of Jones. Out was signaled by the first base umpire, Nick Marley.
Looks like he's there.
Yeah, it's not even close, actually.
You know what? In fairness to the umpire, you would look at this play. The dirt flies from the glove, and I don't think he could really see when it touched.
They will look at this. The Tigers will challenge that last call, which was out. Meanwhile, the strikeout is the 8th of the game now for Carrasco.
Good for Jacoby. What kind of music should they play on these things, you think?
Well, it's got to be elevator music.
So you can't really, they're showing it with all the dirt. It's kind of hard to see. There's got to be a different, better angle. We're hoping. Here we got one more look. Let's take it out from here. See, from here it looks like he's swiping the. Still think he was safe. This is taking too long. It was going to get overturned.
I agree. I think he got back in there, but I don't know if there's enough to overturn this call.
It looks like he's on the bag before the glove gets there. Got our timer going.
Well, you've got to be approaching the 2-minute warning here. They try and keep these to within 2 minutes. That's the new guideline this year. The umpires here at the ballpark have nothing to do with this right now. They're just simply waiting for the judgment from New York. I think he got back in. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
You want to play Name That Tune?
No. Well, you got the name for this tune? Okay, here we go.
Same.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
Well, it took a while. That's why you were a little bit concerned, but you made the right call. So that'll keep the inning going and give your guy Iglesias a shot here.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. As Iglesias comes to the plate, his previous at bat in the 5th inning, a double, tied the game at 1. James McCann came in to score. Jacoby Jones on the 3rd.
Red foul.
Just look for that. That's a two-seamer that ran way in. Iggy's staying back and seeing it nicely. I'll tell you that Carrasco has not thrown him a lot of sliders yet. He's staying on the ball so good, he probably thinks he's just going to rifle that to right field.
Soft line drive going to be caught this time by Lindor, and that'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Day baseball here, part of a doubleheader, a day-night doubleheader at the ballpark. Young fan caught a ball earlier today, had his glove, didn't need it. Alex Wilson will take over now for the Tigers in a Wallside Windows change.
Alex getting back on track. Pitched the 30th in Colorado, scoreless inning, and actually his last 5 outings scoreless. 4 innings pitched, no earned runs.
First man to face him is Santana, and he will be followed by Diaz and Geyer. 2-1 ball game. It's been a tight one all day. They play the shift on against the lefty batting Santana. Ball 1.
Here you can see 3 to the right. Nick's over here by himself on third base. Didn't look up to see if Santana's bunted yet this year against the shift. And you see a lot of shifts around the league when you watch a game. Not all of them work. However, the Indians are very good at it. Tigers have not been as good as they could be.
Here's the 2-0. Left side of the infield, going to be a tough play for Iglesias. Over the shoulder grab for Iglesias, who makes that play as routinely as anybody in the game.
Yeah, actually, my mistake. That's Iggy over there. They bring Castellanos to the right side of the diamond. And I mean, this is a very tough catch. He's got it all the way over his shoulder. But to have the hands the way he does, they never really bounce out of his gloves. That's a small glove on his hand, too. You think he could do that? It'd be tough right there.
Would be. And he also had to battle the wind a little bit, too.
He was going out, winds blowing in. He looked like he had it all the way. Of course, we expect him to catch those.
Yandy Diaz stands in. Singled in the 7th inning in his last at bat. Diaz also a single in the 5th to drive in a run, and that ball is going to go to the right side. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th inning. By the way, this Monday spend Labor Day at Comerica Park. See the Tigers take on the Royals at 1:10. If you'd like tickets, go to Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. KC trying desperately to remain in the race. as far as the wild card is concerned. Royals 11 games back of these Indians. 4.5 out of the wild card.
And the Twins are what, 7.5 back of Cleveland. Tigers actually have split 6-6 this year in 12 games, and that wasn't the case. Was it last year when they had such a hard time with them?
Yeah, the Indians in fact won 11 straight against the Tigers at one point last year. And that's in there, a strike call. The thing about the wild card is that 4.5 out for KC, but they've got a bunch of teams they got to jump. I mean, everybody's bunched up in that wild card.
But if you're playing the team you got to jump, you got a chance, right?
Correct. Just got to keep winning. Simple as that.
Looking at the wild card standings, New York and Minnesota right now on top. Angels and Baltimore right there, and then Tampa Bay and Texas. You never know. Anybody can go on a run. It totally changes.
Now the 1-2. 2-2 on Geyer.
And by the way, in that wild card game, I believe the winner of that would face the Indians, the way if it was today. So Indians got a pretty good rotation. Of course, that's where it all starts. I got Kluber, Carrasco, Bauer. I guess they got Clevenger and Merritt in there right now.
Bauer has been really good.
Yeah, he was unbeaten in August. I think he was 5-0. He's got great stuff.
Willie comes on with a 1-2-3 8th inning. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the 8th.
Has moved on to the Houston Astros. This is 2012. Pretty good line, 9 innings. He had 11 strikeouts and went 122 pitches. Then in 2013, this is a game 5 as well. Went 8 innings, 10 Ks and 111 pitchers. Gamer delight. JB, and we wish him the best. And who will be the next JB in the Tigers organization?
That's the fun part of a rebuild.
We're going to find out.
Meanwhile, it's going to be Brian Shaw coming out of the bullpen. Now we've got game 2 coming up, and during game 2 we'll chat with Al Avila, who will come to the booth and talk about all the changes now in the organization. Wall side windows change. The numbers on Shaw.
Yeah, this guy is his 64th game. He throws 70 games a year. He's his arm will go. It won't fall off. He's a dependable guy. He brings it. Fastball cutter. He's developed a curveball as well. I believe the Tigers got to him here at home last time I was doing the games.
They did. Here they trail by only 1 run.
Good time to score about 3.
Shaw has thrown 80 games once. He has thrown 70 or more 3 times. See action in the Tigers bullpen. Ooh, good pitch there. Breaking ball, 1-2.
Yeah, he's added that to his repertoire. Ian 0 for 3 today. 239 average on the season.
Trying to hold up, and he went around for strike 3. Ball was at his bill of the cap. Shaw with the strikeout, 1 gone.
Yeah, ball just ate him up. Looks like he's maybe looking breaking ball again, and he half tries to get out of the way and swings instead.
Carrasco strikes out 8 in 7 innings of work. He is the pitcher of record right now for the Tribe. Presley is 0 for 3. Pop-up grounder. Ball 1. How about a little bloop and a blast here? You got Miggy on deck. And Presley looks at ball 2.
That works fine for me.
I'll take a walk and a blast.
An error and a blast?
A what?
An error.
Oh, yeah, anything.
Catcher's interference.
You're digging deep now. And there's ball 3 on Presley. 3-0.
You'll watch Shaw when he throws the baseball, it really cuts, and he sometimes gets around it. It goes a little too far. If you're Presley, you got to make sure that you do not offer it that ball, because it's going to break off the plate inside. It's what he wants you to swing at.
Cutter in there for strike 1. 3-1. Strike 2.
He's going to get another one right there. That's a good pitch by Shaw. That pitch is up and in, really unhittable, even if you did swing.
Line to right field. That ball is going to get down. Base hit. Presley is on with a 1-out single. His first hit of the game. That'll bring up Cabrera.
Good job by Alex. He's going to make a little adjustment right here. He's going to keep it short. Going to pull his hands in. And actually, Brandon Guyer does a real good job of getting over in the gap. See, there's the cutter. It's cutting in. Brings his hands in. Doesn't get jammed. And Guyer gets over and cuts that off and holds him to a single.
I agree off the bat. It looked like it might be a double. Here is Cabrera. Tigers had their 7th hit. Miguel is 0 for 3. And Shaw misses outside. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike on Miggy.
No, you're looking 94 miles an hour. That's pretty good, but it's got a nasty cut. Just watch how fast that's moving away from the right-handed hitter right at the end of the distance to the glove.
Now 1-2.
The other ones have been away. This one's looks like it's off the body, we call it. Watch, it's going to cut right off the body. He thinks it's going to come in, and then it breaks right over the corner of the plate. Good sequence so far.
Swing and a miss. He got him up top. Cabrera goes down swinging. 2 gone.
Got a little extra on that. 96. Just elevated a little more. Biggie just does not look like he's picking the ball up like he has in the past.
That is 10 strikeouts now for Cleveland pitching. Cody Allen warming up their closer. Castellanos now will step in. Ooh, he almost threw it away.
He almost got Omar right there. Boy. Great save by Santana over there. Watch this. Tries to be really quick and almost could call a balk on that. Didn't even hardly step.
Ball outside.
Tigers looking for a way to score right here. You got to get either 2 hits, steal a base, although that'd be very hard. Shaw occasionally does the high leg kick like he just did. That puts him about 135. But it's got to be a little more than that, I believe.
Saw Allen warming up in their pen twice in the last 4 games, or his last 4 appearances. He's gone more than 1 inning. And they've got him warmed up here in the 8th in case they need him for more than 1. Here's the 2-0 and a ball outside, 3-0. Did you find that once September rolled around, Gibby, when you were managing in a pennant race, that you managed a little bit differently and more for getting the win on that night?
Well, with the call-ups, you can really match up against whomever, either if you're on the offensive side or defensive side. You generally have more speed and more power. You have more options.
3-1.
Now I'd put him in motion right here. I mean, Nick hits one to the gap. You want to make sure he scores. But again, it's easy for me. I'm in the booth. It's very easy for me to say. Not a very good lead over there.
Foul back down 3-2 on Nick.
Now we're going to watch and see if they move Santana behind him. I do not think they will. You'd want to cheat a little bit if you're Presley. But he's going to stand there and hold him. Usually if there was a runner up here, you'd have the trail runner, but sometimes they play right behind him because they want to, especially if you have a left-handed batter up, want to be able to glove that line.
Nick 1 for 3 in the game, singled in his last at bat. Runner going, a little looper into right field. That ball is going to drop, base hit. Presley to third, will stop there, and the Tigers now have runners at the corners. Broken bat single for Nick Castellanos.
That worked nicely. Broke his bat right off the end of the bat. Presley was on the run. See, Alex got a peek right there. Look at playing very deep for the Cleveland Indians.
And Tito's going to get Cody Allen here.
Yeah, he likes that matchup. Now, if you're Tigers, you can go to your bench.
And as Allen comes in, we'll step aside. 2-1 Cleveland. as we play in the 8th inning. However, the Tigers have runners at first and third, and coming up, the pitching matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Game 2 probable starters tonight.
Yeah, back end starters, Mike Clevenger for the Tribe. Not that bad, 3.72 ERA. And Buck Farmer, he's had a couple really good games for the Tigers. See if he can keep that ball down and get the Tigers a win tonight.
Cody Allen is on now to try and get a 4-out save for the Indians.
2 for 2 so far. You can see, look at all the curveballs he throws. Mikey, you see that one coming at your shoulder. Whack it. It's going to be right down the middle of the plate. The curveball I'm talking about.
He got 4 outs in his last outing, game 1 of a doubleheader a couple of nights ago in New York with 3 strikeouts.
That looked a little high. It's a tough call right there.
He is only 0 for 1 career, so these two have not squared off very often. Ooh, that was a critical block there by Gomes.
Well, Cody Allen throws a lot of breaking pitches. It's almost 50-50. I'd be looking. So the Tigers haven't really much of their reinforcements up yet. But you might say, well, go get a left-handed bat. First of all, Romine's the only switch hitter. Lefties are actually hitting less off Allen than righties are.
Ball popped up first base side and back out of play.
Oh, another guy, bare hands.
We got some skills in the crowd today.
Yes, we do.
He's not giving it up. Ah, there he goes.
Got a little hot. The bees. That go right through his hand.
Oh, it looked like, yeah, it did.
Hit him right on the shoulder. Trap. What do you call that?
I called it lucky he didn't hit him in the face.
Yeah, you want to play it over to the side.
That's right. Here's a 1-2. Little chopper slowly left side of the infield. Lindor gonna have to hurry. Can't make the play, and we are tied. Infield hit for Mikey Matuk to tie it at 2.
Well, if you look at this, you got a nasty little hop right there. Lindor sets himself up. He thinks he's got it. Glove is down. He just took a little hop up into the heel of the glove. Lindor was unable to get the glove close enough into the webbing. The Tigers have tied it up.
And here is Navarro now to try and put him ahead. Efren is 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts in his last 2 at-bats. Fouled away 0-1. So Carrasco will not get a decision today. Bullpen can't hold a 1-run lead. Now the Tigers trying to go out in front.
Tell you, that really hurts the Indians. You said that he's thrown a couple 4-out saves. Now he's went for the gamble again today. You don't want to be pitching when you're got a tie game with your closer on the road.
Ball inside to Navarro. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Shane Green starts to, or continues to, warm up in the Tigers pen.
Yeah, if you're the home team, you throw him if it's tied or ahead. Come on, Efren.
Each side now 2 runs on 9 hits. Two and 1.
Now you're a base runner right here. You know you want to go. You got to get good, but you got to watch here. We already saw Gomes throw down once. So you cannot get picked off. Got to have it early, and you got to watch somebody sneaking in behind you here. The good teams, they all have the plays on. They all communicate well. You got to watch it.
Level the count now, 2-2 on Navarro.
So now you've got 2 strikes, and if you're Nick, you want to make sure you're at second base. You want to make sure you're very aggressive on your lead. You're going to probably take 1, 2, 3. If you see the ball in the zone, you're going to take right off. Not waiting to see it hit. You're reading it. If it's in the zone, you got to go.
Here's the 2-2. That's in the air towards center field. Zimmer backing up, and he'll make the catch. Tigers tie it up on the hit by Mikey.
Verlander and Justin Upton trades reverberating through the clubhouse this morning. We'll have that for you coming up after the game on Tigers Live. But Craig, I think one way or another, everybody's felt it a little bit here today.
Yeah, it's a very emotional day today, Mick. Losing a lot of, some good friends, Justin Verlander, Justin Upton. But the guys still came out and played a solid baseball game and got an opportunity to win. They had a tough task against Carrasco, put together some solid at-bats. Let's hope we can bring it home and get a W today.
Yeah, despite everything that's going on off the field, the Tigers battling on it. They have a chance here. Matthew Boyd gave them that chance. Strong outing from him. We'll hear from him as well coming up after the game. But we're in search of a hero now as we send it back to Mario and Gibby for the ninth. Guys?
All right, fellas, and Shane Green coming out of the Tigers pen to pitch the 9th inning.
Yeah, got the closer in. ERA still at 1.16, outstanding. Strikeouts per 9 over 10. You can see the opponents not too good, but and he'll start down at the bottom of the order.
Pinch hitter coming up. It'll be Almonte, Abraham Almonte. Then Urshela to go up, and then Lindor. There's a ball outside, and 1 ball, no strikes on Almonte. Jay Bruce has moved to the on-deck circle, so he will bat for Urshela, it appears. Almonte lines 1 foul. There's the newly acquired Jay Bruce.
Boy, he's done a good job since he's come over.
Yeah, he's fit right in. Ball 2 outside, 2-1 on Almonte. Ball 3.
Got to throw strikes, no free pass.
Tigers twice trailed by a run in this game. Both times they've come back. 2-2 ties. We play in the 9th. Game 1 of the doubleheader today. And a strike called. Almonte was on his way to first.
Ron Culpep's really called some borderline high pitches here, so everybody's got to be aware of that, especially if you get 2 strikes. Goes right across the bottom of the armpits, which by definition is within the strike zone.
Soft line drive caught by Iglesias. It's short. 1 gone. So Jay Bruce now will bat for Urshela.
Looking ahead to the Tigers, they have McCann, Jones, Iglesias. Might want to have a pinch runner ready for McCann should he get on.
Confab on the mound now as they talk about how to pitch to Bruce. Bruce has power.
Got to throw him tight. Gets those arms out, it's dangerous.
Ball 1.
Does not like the ball in tight. He wants to get his arms out.
Jay Bruce acquired on August 9th from the Mets. They gave up a Class A pitcher to get him. Fouled away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Market this year for trades has been much different, hasn't it?
It sure has.
I mean, everybody's like, oh, you got to have more than that. But for some reason, nobody's interested in taking out a lot of money. I think in that has affected who you get in return.
1 and 2 on Bruce, who has 14 go-ahead home runs this year, so keep him in the ballpark. Here are the numbers with the Tribe since coming over from the Mets. That's in the air, right center field, long run, and it's going to go off the wall. Bruce hits the bag at second. He's coming to third, and he is in there sliding with a triple. Jay Bruce comes off the bench into Triple's alley to give the Indians a runner.
I believe this is an off-speed pitch, and it's dangerous. A guy like Jay Bruce, see, it's a slider. He doesn't get on top of it. And veteran hitters are very good at hitting off-speed mistakes. The Tigers have no chance catching this ball or cutting him down.
And Bruce all the way to third with a sliding triple. Infield coming in now. They got Lindor up. He'll try and score the run with 1 out. Fouled off, 0-1. Jerry Francona emptying the bench. Chisenhall now has moved to the on-deck circle. Infield in for the Tigers, tied at 2. Runner at third, 1 out. Lindor lines it back up the middle into center field. A go-ahead RBI single for Francisco Lindor. And the Indians are back on top.
Well, we were talking about with Simo, what do you do when you're just trying to get a guy in from the base? And there's a perfect example. Look, he doesn't try and do too much. Just tries to go right up the middle. Doesn't pull off it. Right over Shane Green's head. Lets the ball come to him, and they've taken a 3-2 lead. The Indians have been very good at this, certainly as of late.
So here is Lonnie Chisenhall, the third pinch hitter in this inning. Now Lindor becomes a threat to run. He's 11 out of 13. Jay Bruce triples off the bench and Lindor scores him. Pretty good season for Chisenhall. 305, 12 homers. And big numbers against the Tigers. 4 home runs this year. Ball 1.
Lindor, 11 steals, has been caught twice.
He's got the oven mitt on.
That's because he's had some problems down there at second base or third wherever he would slide, so they put the mitt on so they don't jam their wrists or fingers or thumb.
The Indians today were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position before that Lindor hit. And if you're wondering how many triples Jay Bruce hits, that was his first in over 220 games. Or exactly 220 games. Runner bluffing, swing and a miss. Lindor took a step or two towards second, put on the brakes.
Well, if you hit a ball at Comerica out in that area, it's pretty much a triple for everybody. It's a lot of area to cover. Tigers are kind of playing over the other way a little bit because he generally hits the ball to the left side of the outfield.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second. Tag in time. Lindor is cut down by McCannon.
Good job by James. Pretty good jump by Lindor. I got him about a 187. Accurate throw right there. Good tag time. Look, it's right, puts it right on him. Good job by Iggy to get there and kind of be in front of that bag so he can make the quick tag.
Only the 3rd time that Lindor has been caught stealing this year. 1 and 2 on Chisenhall.
Quick swing inside there.
Got him, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. Indians go ahead though on the RBI hit by Lindor. We go to the bottom of the 9th.
Game summary. Home run to Edwin Encarnacion in the 6th inning. That put the Tribe up. Tigers came back. Mikey Mott scored Alex Presley. That tied it up, and then Francisco Lindor here in the top of the 9th inning with the single scores Jay Bruce after he hit a triple. And it'll be up to James McCann, Jacoby Jones, and Jose Iglesias to get on base and Tigers tie and then go ahead and win this game. Cody Allen will remain the closer in Cleveland on the mound. Here we go.
So the Tigers will send McCann, Jones, and Iglesias. And although this is a trio at the bottom of the Tigers lineup, they've gotten it done today. Mack with a couple of hits and a run scored. And you look at a strike, 0-1. Bottom of the ninth is underway.
Gonna have to get a runner if James gets on, so probably looking at either Machado or Romine.
Soft line drive to right, base hit. Leadoff man on. Third hit today for McCann.
It's gonna be Romine.
Tying run now, Romine comes on. Jacoby Jones will stand in.
They may bunt. Jacoby has not swung the bat real well, but it's really not the play here. Go for the power gap.
Gonzalez in tight at third base, guarding against the bunt. He's step or two on the grass.
Pull it right by him, Jacoby.
Showing bunt up high. 1-0. Bottom three in the lineup now have 6 hits, 6 for 10 for the bottom three tonight or today. Allen came on, faced 2 batters in the 8th, now trying to nail it down here in the 9th. Let it go by for a strike, 1-1.
When you get guys moving around like this, good time to put a hit and run on. If you can put it in play, you got the third baseman coming in, first baseman's coming in, second baseman's running over to cover first base. Got people running all over. There's holes everywhere in that infield.
He'll lay it down. It's going to go foul. And now 2 strikes on Jones. So Jacoby unable to lay down the bunt. It'll put him behind in the count.
He's going to see probably a breaking ball now. Romy's got 5 steals, caught 4 times. You know that Cody Allen, the pitcher, is going to hold you a long time. Got a fairly quick move. He doesn't have a very big lead as well.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Jones fans for the 3rd time in this game. It's 11 strikeouts now for Cleveland pitching.
He's a sneaky fastball, starts away and just runs back on the plate. Jacoby disappointed. Did not get that bunt down.
Here is Iglesias, 2 out of 3 RBI double to his credit today. Strike 1.
Throwing the heater in there.
We have had 21 hits in this game, but it's only a 3-2 score. 15 men left on base between the 2 squads. Now the 0-1. Perez blocks it.
It's a time when you look out. I mean, Tigers could put a hit and run on right here. Iglesias handles the bat very well. May get a slider right here, though. 2-1 for sure. He'll get something to hit. It's a breaking ball. Iglesias should be able to make it. Or Romine.
Ball high, 2-1. Romine pinch running for McCann, who started the ninth with a single.
Got those signs. It all means something. Like the aggressive play here. On the move.
He'll draw a throw.
Indians are thinking the same. Didn't look like Romine was going to me, though. After this, you got the top of the order.
Flared out of play now, 2-2 on Iglesias. Kinsler on deck. Game one of the doubleheader. We'll have Tigers Live post game coming up following the conclusion of this one. Iglesias already with 12 3-hit games this year. He needs another hit here for another 3-hit game. Now the 2-2. Line to right field. That ball slicing. Foul. Ooh, good catch even by the ball boy down there.
With his seat in his hand.
Big time.
Yeah, that looks like a new glove, doesn't it?
Breaking it in.
But many times you just get bat boys gloves to break them in for you.
Never knew that.
Yeah, go on the road, tell the guy, give him a glove, say play some catch.
Fouled straight back.
He's battling.
He is battling, and this is something Iglesias does extremely well. He doesn't strike out a lot. He's always, or usually, in the top 10 and toughest to strike out in the American League. And Allen battling him here. And Cody now up to 21 pitches. Again, he came on to face two batters in the eighth, gave up the infield single to Matuk, which tied it up at that time. Low. Thought about offering, now 3-2.
Gotta go. Gotta be on the move. Iglesias is about as good as you can get for making contact on the Tigers team. Doesn't strike out a lot. Want to avoid the double play should he hit it on the ground.
Runner holding, and a ground ball up the middle, base hit center field. Iglesias is on, and the Tigers now have 2 on, 1 out. It's an 8-pitch at bat.
Good at bat, and Tigers do not have him on the move, so consequently only going to get down to second base is Andrew Romine. You're not going to run on Zimmer out there. He's got 8 assists this year. So Tigers first and second. Top of the order, and Ian Kinsler.
I wonder if they did have the runner going, Gibby, if the second baseman Ramirez would have been running to second base and maybe running into that ball.
Yeah, it's possible for sure.
Which would have gotten him at least a force out at second. So by not running, maybe it helped out the Tigers.
Well, if he's covering, it might have been the shortstop covering as well.
Well, here is Kinsler now. Tying run at second, winning run at first. Ian pops it up foul. Is there room for Santana? Nope. Out of play.
He's thinking about it, wasn't he?
Barreling toward the camera well. Kinsler broke his bat.
Tell you, the Indians really playing shallow in the outfield. Zimmer, the center fielder, way in. Ian Kinsler gets a hold of one. He's way in right here. If he could get a gapper, the Tigers are going to win this game. A lot of room behind him.
Zimmer seems like one of those guys that is comfortable going back on the ball. He's made some highlight catches this year.
He has. He's a very good outfielder. He's made the try pitching much better than it was before he came. Watch the back picks on the bases if you're a Tiger.
Now the 0-1. Popped him up. Right side of the infield. Infield fly rule called. And Kinsler is out, 2 gone. That's going to leave it up now to Presley.
Ian's mad because he missed his pitch. He saw it. He just didn't center it. You watch him. The ball's right there. It hangs up. He just doesn't hit it. Good selection. Looked like he waited on it good. Sometimes this just happens. It's a round ball moving, spinning. It's hard to make constant contact. Didn't work out. Tigers down to their last out. Presley.
He singled and scored in the 8th. Presley for the day, 1 for 4. It's been good with runners in scoring position, 364 this year. Trying to drive home Romine from second. Did not go. 1-0. More action in their pen. Smith, the right-hander.
Hear that fan giving it to him?
Right.
Now you might not think. You might think that guys can hear that. I doubt he can. So focused out there, you don't listen.
Went around that time. Presley, he disagrees. He is staring down at third base umpire Jerry Meals, the crew chief. Oh, I don't know.
I don't think the head came out.
1-1. Slice to left field. It is sinking, dropping in, base hit. They're going to hold the runner at third. And they're loaded up for Miguel Cabrera.
Well, here's what happens when you play shallow. They moved in a little bit, and really a pretty good break from second base. But Austin Jackson, he's smart. He's right in there. Romine cannot score.
Looks like that's going to be it for Allen. They're going to want the right-hander. Joe Smith's going to come in, so their closer is done for the day. We'll step aside. Pitching change to Comerica. The Tigers have them loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. And Miguel Cabrera will not face Cody Allen because, well, he eats up Cody Allen.
See 353, but Joe Smith is the new pitcher. 320 off of him, 8 for 25 with a couple of dingers. Only 2 strikeouts, so either way, up to Miggy again. Tigers have counted on him all year, and every year he's come through. This has been a frustrating year, so this would be nice for him to come through for his teammates, get himself back on track.
Joe Smith acquired by the Indians on July 31st, right before the trade deadline for 2 minor leaguers from the Blue Jays. And now here is Cabrera.
Seems to me Cleveland's been attacking Miggy with fastballs elevated.
Smith comes from that side delivery. And we'll see how he attacks Cabrera here. Miggy 0 for 4 in the game. Tying run at third, winning run is second. And Cabrera looks at a strike, 0-1.
Talking about the fastballs, looking at Cabrera's hot zone and not hot zone. It's kind of why they throw him in here. 100 up and in. That's where the fastballs that most of them have been. 222 up high.
Way outside, 1-1.
Wouldn't it be fun to be that pitcher right now in the game?
Heart racing a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's probably done it enough that he's just ready to go.
The
if you're Miggy, the same.
Bases are loaded, so no room for error here.
Throw into the backstop. Why not?
Here's the 1-1. Cabrera lines it right to the shortstop, Lindor. And the Indians hold on to win. Now we'll send you to the Coliseum Studios. Mickey York standing by with Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Mario, thank you very much. So close, halfway through it. Twin Bill coming up on Tigers Live. Did Matthew Boyd feel like he took a step in the right direction? We'll hear from him. Plus, Brad Ausmus weighs in on the way his team battled today. Life after the Justins, reaction from Al Avila and the guys in the clubhouse to yesterday's trades. And we will hear from Justin Verlander as he gets ready to head to Houston. All that more coming up next on Tigers Live.